Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. At Compact, we strive to provide you with the tools and experience it takes to be in the right place at the right time to grow and protect your hard-earned money. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say, talk to Mo, and let's check your goals together. You'll get a free portfolio review and risk analysis, and we'll focus on your investment strategies. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say, talk to Mo, or visit us online at compact.com. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full-spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
Did you know that Constructors Bonding has been Arizona's leader in surety management for over 40 years? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than anyone anywhere. Contractors, developers, attorneys, car dealers, and hundreds of other industries turn to Constructors Bonding for their bond solutions. Call me personally at 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution for better bonding.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down
because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
And welcome everybody to a Monday edition of the Daily Blender of 1580 and 99.3, the Fanatic Arizona Sports Betting Station. Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation yet again for the first few days of this week. He'll be back sometime around Thursday, we anticipate. My name is Randy White, right over there, the sexiest man in Talk Sports, Sports Talk Radio, or Talk Sports Radio. I mean, depending on, it's a Monday, so everybody's hungover. We all know it. Let's just be right honest, you know?
Yeah.
Keon Rose, the sexiest man in Sports Talk Radio. There it is. And you are the fourth to mention, texting in live on the text line at 888-368-1580 as we broadcast live from beautiful Scottsdale in our Harmon Solar studios of 1580 The Fanatic. Boy, it's welcome to Monday, Keon. Boy, hell of a weekend, huh?
Yeah, it was. I mean, depending on where you decided to turn your attention. I had my attention turned to the Rattlers. I was here, running the board.
That's right. Rattlers, a big win this past weekend.
A massive win, played the Duke City Gladiators and basically ran them over. I mean,
so what was the final score? Was a number one Rattlers fan? Was he on the money with that?
I think he might have actually given Duke City more credit than they deserve.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the Rattlers put up a lot of points, but their defense was actually the star of the game. I think they had about 5 turnovers that they forced, and as well as a little bit of stifling and keeping Duke City out of the end zone. They scored 14 points, which in indoor football is almost impossible.
Yeah, that's hideous, man. Okay, well, congratulations to the Rattlers putting a beat down on the Duke City. What's their name? Duke
City Gladiators.
Okay,
mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, what's the? So was that the quarterfinals? Because this is the playoffs, right?
This is the playoffs, and that was the quarterfinals. The Rattlers didn't play in the first round because they earned the bye. Were able to take some time off, get healthy, and clearly they are ready to go.
Excellent. Okay, so who's their next opponent? Do we know yet, or is that to be determined?
I believe that's Northern Arizona next.
All right. There you go. Rattlers football live here on 1580 The Fanatic, your connection for Rattlers football. Do they call it the Snake Pit?
They do.
They do call it the Snake Pit?
Yeah,
I thought they did.
Which is much nicer than, the Footprint Center.
Yeah, the Snake Pit. Welcome to the Snake Pit. I love it. All right, 888-368-1580. Other things that happened this weekend. Okay, so your natties were in town. Your natty lights were in town.
Yeah, I know.
And the Snakes took 2 or 3 from the natty lights. Madison Bumgarner, though, he got a little chippy with one of your players. Let's listen what Mad Bum had to say about Robles.
What did you think of Robles' reaction to that home run?
He's a clown. Golly, no shame, no shame. Like it's 7-1. You hear your third homer of the year, you act like Barry Bonds breaking the record. Clean it up.
Clean it up.
Getting up the round. Nobody. I mean, hell, we won 7-2, 8-2, whatever it was. It's frustrating. I'm the old grumpy guy, I know, but that type of stuff didn't used to happen. Now that's ridiculous.
Well, I guess we know what Mad Bum thinks of Robles.
Because the Nationals were down big in that game. It was 7-1 at the time.
Yeah.
Robles hits the solo shot. He stares at it, and then he goes about, going around the bases. But it's 7-2. You're still down 5 runs. What on earth could you possibly be doing? And Madison Bumgarner let him have it. And I like that Madison is acting like he doesn't really know who Victor Robles is. That really was his 3rd homer of the season. He wasn't guessing. He knew exactly.
Yeah. And Robles hits it in the 8th, the top of the 8th. He hits it in the 8th and stands there and admires the shot.
The game was over. Okay, there was just a formality.
You're a 31-65 team, and you're staring at a home run that really wasn't that impressive.
No, it was okay. I don't want to say it just cleared the wall, but it was a shallow home run. It wasn't like boom. If it was, I don't know, one of the ones that Aaron Judge has been hitting lately.
Yeah. Okay. Now you stand there.
Those towering shots. Even if you're losing, that's impressive. Victor Robles just barely hit that home run. He showed up the next day, by the way, with a clown nose.
Oh yeah. I was going to mention that.
And that's actually his picture now on his baseball reference page.
However, head coach of the Nationals did not take kindly to that. Said there will be some discussions between himself and Mr. Robles.
Yeah, Davey Martinez is not. Yeah, he's not thrilled about that. He's an old school guy. That's not how he coaches this team. But I think that this is an indication of how badly he's lost that locker room. Guys are just playing for themselves now because they don't have anything else to play for.
Well, listen, second half of the season, you're not going anywhere. Your best player probably going to be traded. You don't have much to play for right now. You just go out and pad some stats and just try to keep together and not get injured. The Diamondbacks amassing 10 hits with a 7-2 victory. The next day it wasn't so. It wasn't so the next day. The Natties inflicted pain on the Diamondbacks, beating them 4-3. So immediately what happens, here's the outlook for the Snakes coming up here. Doesn't get any easier. The Giants are in town tonight for a 3-game set, and then the Snakes will jet to Atlanta to SunTrust, Truist. What the hell field is it this time?
It's Truist. It used to be.
Have they changed their name again?
It was SunTrust, and then the bank actually merged with another bank, and they changed their name.
Ergo, the Truist Field.
The park had to change their name. Yeah.
So the Diamondbacks get to take on the Bravos on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this coming weekend, and then it's off to Cleveland to take on the Guardians, who right now are inching closer to the Twins in second place there, and then they come home. They've got 3 against the Rockies. Then it's 3 against the Pirates. 4 against the Pirates. Then they go to Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, Coors Field. Then it's 3 more with the Giants. I'm sorry, 4 more with the Giants. The Cardinals come to town. There is one stretch here in September. We were talking about this before we went on the air. The Diamondbacks on September 19th, 20th, 21st. I'm sorry, 19th, 20th. It must be a doubleheader because there's 2 games on the 20th here. 19th and 20th, 21st and 22nd. They play 5 games in a row, the Dodgers. And then they go into a 3-game set against the Giants, and then it's the Astros. You guys think the Diamondbacks have a chance?
I don't see it. For just the rest of the schedule, for the rest of the season, I literally do not see it. Where are the wins supposed to happen?
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I mean, you're going to trip and stumble into a few, but
no, come on.
This is brutal. This is a brutal second half schedule.
Also this weekend, I see you guys on the text line. I see you. We're going to talk about it. I see you. I'm just trying to get some business out of the way early. 888-368-1580. Everybody is getting all fuzzy. Ian Rappaport, just about an hour or so ago, broke out a piece of information about Kyler Murray's contract. It has a clause in it that says that he must be doing some homework. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, let me get through the weekend here. Also this weekend, a NASCAR race happened. Denny Hamlin was the unofficial winner, followed by his teammate, Kurt Busch. But guess what? I'm sorry, Kyle Busch. But guess what? Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch both disqualified, and the win was given to the most popular driver, Chase Elliott. Was in Pocono this past weekend, and whoops. You know what they say in NASCAR? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And both the 11 car and the 18 car were impounded immediately after the race as they found foreign substances, not very big, but they were impeding an airflow, which I could go into all the aerodynamics if you want me to, but it's kind of boring. Just made the car go faster. Closed off one of the vents so the car wasn't taking in as much air, and the car went faster. If the car goes faster than the other cars, guess what? That's a competitive edge. And NASCAR does not look kindly on that.
And it's not good news. And I'm more than a little disappointed. I'm disappointed because Denny Hamlin's my guy. I like him. You know, I had the race on here over the weekend. So I was watching that. I was like, oh, cool. Denny Hamlin won. I was very happy and excited for about 15 minutes. And then they took it away.
See, this is why I say in NASCAR, they do it. In baseball, they flip their bats and they do all this business. And in NASCAR, he got up there and he did donuts and a big burned it all the way down the front stretch, one of the longest in NASCAR, just a whole, and burned the tires down and whoops.
And then
Then
his daughter was out there and he was riding around with her and she's waving this flag and she's adorable.
Was cool. That was cool.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter now because they took the win away.
Chase Elliott says, I'm not even going to try to get the trophy from him. They can just have the trophy. Whoops.
Yeah, he'll take the points. That's fine.
Joe Gibbs Racing had the opportunity to appeal the disqualification up until noon Eastern time today. They did not. And NASCAR found 2 12/100ths of an inch a see-through clear plexiglass type material partially covering a couple of inlets.
I mean, what?
Whoops.
Yeah, of course they're not going to appeal this. Both of their drivers that finished first and second had it. You can't argue that that's an accident. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not possible.
So Chase Elliott, he's awarded his 4th win of the season by disqualification of Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. And speaking of the race, Joe Gibbs' grandson was in the race. He was covering for Kurt Busch, who got into a practice accident, backed the car into the wall, took a pretty big pounding there at Pocono. And so young Gibbs got in and ran a pretty damn good race. I think top 10. I think he finished top 10.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other news out I want to get to talk about. Tyreek's at it again. We'll talk about that in a minute. I just wanted to get over Oh, and then last night, I guess the Celtics became a suitor of Kevin Durant's services. And that's turned into a drama fest in the sports world today. I guess Jaylen Brown, all he could tweet about after seeing this breaking on TV and all this was SMH, shake my head. I mean, why would Boston, Keon, because you know way more infinitely about this than I did. Why in the hell would Boston want to go after KD? I mean, first of all, you've got a team that went to the finals just this past season. You swept Brooklyn away. You sent them away. Had no problem with them. Now you want to bring over KD on your team and break up part of that roster that was so dominant in the East?
Yeah, I at first I didn't understand the move, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it does kind of make sense. Because if you could put Kevin Durant with Jason Tatum, who on earth is going to stop you from scoring whatever you want, whenever you want, and pretty much however you want to score? So it's not that bad a move in that aspect. And I do think that the Celtics, who are not about going to the finals, not about Eastern Conference Finals, I think the Celtics are about championships. They're about rings. That's what they expect. That's what their fan base expects. And they're looking around the Eastern Conference and going, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but let's be honest, we might have been a little bit fortunate to get there. Milwaukee wasn't healthy. They didn't have Chris Middleton. Miami, not 100% healthy. We had nagging injuries with Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry, Bam Adebayo. The nagging injuries of the Philadelphia 76ers, and Joel Embiid's thumb was messed up, and a bunch of other things with Joel Embiid too. But the guy was playing through injuries. And you look to next year and go, if those teams are healthy, are we even a top 5 team to go back? Maybe not. So maybe you push the chips in the middle of the table and you go get Kevin Durant and get a guy who is a lethal scorer to pair with your other lethal scorer in Jason Tatum, and then try to figure out the role players and things like that next.
So then you jettison Jaylen Brown and you send draft picks and what they were calling swap picks. I don't understand. What's a swap pick? What does that mean?
That is something that I am not as familiar with, because that is just
because apparently that is a resource that NBA teams like as well. Swap picks.
They do. And I if I'm not mistaken, it may have to do with the fact that you can trade picks, but you can't trade picks for consecutive years.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to get back, your picks that you may have maybe given up before to try and balance that out.
But it seems like that's what Brooklyn, right? Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, that's what Brooklyn is looking for. Some assimilation of superstars sort of talent. Jaylen Brown certainly would meet that criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a combination of draft picks and some young resources from your team as well, right?
Yeah, they're going to probably want another player too. I mean, it may be Time Lord, Robert Williams. It may be somebody else. It could also be with the swap picks that if you've got seconds, if I give you my second rounders and you give me back your first rounders, that might help me a whole lot more too. And you're just going to have to hold those second rounders that obviously don't pan out nearly as often. So I really think that they're going to ask for a lot. And because they have Kevin Durant on a 4-year contract, they're not in a rush. As long as they know that Boston wants this, it's going to be them waiting until Boston gets a little bit more desperate. So it's going to be probably as we get closer to the season, we're going to see Boston, maybe even Toronto try to make a move. Those are the two teams I think that are in the lead.
According to some people here, the Celtics offered Brown, guard Derek White, and draft picks to the Nets for Durant's for Durant, according to sources. The proposal was rejected, and Brooklyn has asked Boston in any proposal to include Brown, Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart, draft picks, and potentially one more rotation player. These were those sources added. Currently, the Celtics are less inclined to include Smart along with multiple other player or pick assets, but the franchise is mulling over next steps on how to approach the discussion. So basically, to me, this tells me that this deal could be pretty much dead. This is just sort of a after the fact. It was simmering for a while, was coming to a head, and then all of a sudden, it kind of died as quickly as it started, right?
Yeah, and maybe the Celtics might backtrack on that eventually, but right now they're not really interested. And this is how all of the stuff has gone with Brooklyn, by the way. Brooklyn shows up and says, "Hey, Kevin Durant, we've got him. Who wants him?" Somebody shows up, they offer Brooklyn a lot, just a massive haul, and then Brooklyn goes, but how about a little bit more? And then the team goes, no, we can't give you any more than this. We're already giving you the whole damn team. And then the deal dies. This is how this has been going continually every time the Nets pop up with another trading partner. So I don't know if this deal gets reignited, but I do think of all of the deals that we've heard so far, that's the most likely one.
All right, so Kevin Durant to Boston, a possibility. First reported last night by Woj. It was a Woj bomb, and I saw it on my Twitterverse. I'm sure you saw it as well. But the big thing that was happening earlier today, Ian Rappaport, NFL Network, on his Twitter page started talking about a clause in Kyler's contract. Of course, we were talking last Friday about Kyler's contract, and everybody jumped in on that. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. First, let's go to the text line and say howdy to the fourth dimension on this first day of the week. Jagdog says, Randy, can I get a victorious crown shot for Rattlers beatdown of Puke City? Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. There you go. Mr. Wilbur says, breaking news for last Friday's press conference. Kyler must have lost some height because he claimed he's only 5'10". But yeah, when the Cardinals measured him a draft day, I believe he was 5'10", 3/8, and 5/8.
I don't know what to say about that. No one lists the quarters of an inch that they are in their height. If you do, it sounds desperate when you do that.
3/8 or 5/8. Silver Pop says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Fourth Dimension. Let's get the week started. Football is upon us. Let's go, Cardinals. Yeah, indeed. Mars Bars 805. Happy Marley Monday, guys. A's took 2 of 3 over the Rangers this weekend. I'll take an 805, please. And a PC for Jeffrey. And go Raiders. If you like pina coladas, yeah. Wow. Pringle says if the Suns trade Booker for Durant, they have a real shot to make the finals again. Why, Mr. Pringle? Why? Why do you want to see Devin Booker go away? He is the future of this franchise.
And
why?
And the whole point of you've just signed Devin Booker to a long-term deal. How would that work? You know what I mean? Like you're signing Booker to this deal because you want him here for long term. Keep your championship window open longer. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. Kevin Durant is 33 years old. He'll be 34 when the season rolls around.
Yeah.
Devin Booker's 25.
Yeah. You keep Devin Booker, and I think some way you get DeAndre Ayton involved, and maybe Chris Paul, but not Devin Booker.
And it's going to be tough to do with the Nets too, because you're allowed to have, one max deal that is the full 5-year maximum deal. The Nets already have that on their roster with Ben Simmons. So I don't think they can even take Devin Booker unless you want Ben Simmons to come here, which I'm telling you for the money that Ben Simmons is being paid, you do not.
All right. We will talk more about it. Get more texts from you at 888-368-1580. When we come back, got to take our first break of the week and of the day. When we come back, we're going to talk about it. There's a homework clause in Kyler's contract. Let's hear what you got to say, Fourth Dimension. 888-368-1580. It's a Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brian Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
UFC 278 set for August 20th in Salt Lake City. The welterweight title on the line. Kamaru Usman, the -315 favorite in his 6th title defense. Number 2 contender Leon Edwards at +265. The two fought back in 2015 with Usman emerging victorious. The latest NFL odds. Which teams have the best chance to go winless in 2022? The Falcons and Texans have the lowest predicted win totals entering the season, each at 4.5. The Seahawks at 5.5. The Bears, Jaguars, and Jets with the over-under set at 6 wins. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale.
For this month only, get a $20 bonus card for every $100 gift card you purchase. When it comes to Asian cuisine, no one does it better and more authentic than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create food, fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. It's not just dinner, it's dinnertainment. Enjoy a memorable dining experience where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for celebrations, date nights, or a night on the town. Choose from over 30 different items and combinations of teppanyaki, Asian fusion, and innovative sushi. Happy hour is always on fire and offered daily with specials on teppanyaki, sushi, and signature cocktails. Now through July, get your $100 gift card and $20 bonus card. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com or call 480-607-1114. Christmas in July is back at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale.
New message.
Hey, man, it's Devin. You know, from that time you accidentally emailed me because you thought I was a different Devin. Oh, and your email signature said confidential. If you receive this in error, please delete. That's so you. Anyway, I heard you bought a boat. When are we setting sail, Captain?
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Oh, and no, you did not receive this message in error.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harmon Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Jim Rome lives here.
It's a lame take to say that this is the dead time of sports and that there's nothing to talk about. It's not 1965. There's lots to talk about. In fact, I think it's actually one of the funnier times of the year because looking around and laughing at all the manufactured tripe that people are talking about, that's become a sport unto itself.
Jim Rome and the Jungle.
Weekday, mid-mornings on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender on this Monday, July 25th, 2022. So much happening over the weekend. Wanted to get some stuff out of the way before we get to our prime news story here. The contract last week at $230.5 million with $160 million guaranteed going to Kyler Murray. One of the richest contracts in Cardinals history, if not the richest in Cardinals history. Surely there would be some different clauses and that sort of things that are going to probably injury clauses and what Kyler can do and can't do in his off time. And if he gets injured doing this, that, and, the normal mumbo jumbo. But I was paying attention because the NFL Network has got a lot of camp coverage. I like to kind of tune in and see what's going on around the NFL. And this came across my Twitter feed. According to Ian Rappaport at Rap Sheet, if you want to follow, it's a good follow. He gets a lot of stuff. I mean, there's certain people in the media game you want to follow because they're straightforward, And Ian Rappaport, working for and alongside and partnering with the NFL Network, comes up with some great stuff like this. Contracts are about give and take. One example from Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray's $230.5 million contract. There's an addendum that requires 4 hours of independent study per game week. It was important to the team making a commitment at that level. Thus, it was important to Murray. I have the excerpt of that part of the contract here on my prep sheet. Let me just kind of read this to you because it's eyebrow
funny.
Raising.
Yeah. Yep.
It was so number one. So section 36, player agrees to satisfy the following off-field requirements. Number one, players shall complete at least 4 hours of independent study as defined below each week, excluding any bye week, during each playing season as defined below during the term of the contract. And then number two outlines the playing season according to the CBA. I won't bore you with it. And then they have to explain what the hell independent study means, as if none of us knows what independent study means. And they outline it. The player studies the material provided to him by the club in order to prepare for the club's next upcoming game, including, without limitation, any such material provided via an iPad or other electronic device. Time spent in mandatory meetings shall not constitute independent study. Players shall receive no credit for independent study for any period during which player does not personally study the provided material in good faith. For the avoidance of doubt, players shall not receive any credit for independent study with respect to any time periods during which any material is displayed or played on an iPad or other electronic device. If the player is not personally studying or watching the material while it's being displayed or played, or B, player is engaged in any other activity that may distract his attention, for example, watching TV, playing video games, or browsing the internet while such material is being displayed or played. In other words, you got to study the material, and you can't just say you're studying it by playing the iPad and watching your favorite, show on TV. Or
you can't watch have the iPad open and then you're catching up on Stranger Things. Like you gotta actually be engaging with the iPad and what's going on, what the cut-ups, that they gave you for the week to look at.
Right. And here's the payoff. Right here. In the event the player breaches this addendum in any respect, at any time during the term of the contract, players shall be deemed to be in default. At that term is defined in paragraph 27 of the contract. In other words, if Kyler don't study, Kyler don't get paid. I have a couple of questions, Keon.
Mm-hmm.
There's the good faith in there. How are they going to know Kyler's actually, studying? I mean, obviously the proof will be in the pudding because he'll be doing this. But B, and most importantly, why do the Cardinals feel like they need to put this addendum in Kyler's contract? Is he not a good leader or good studier of the game, student of the game?
I'm just going to put out there that I am speculating right now. I do not know. I just have a history with signs, as we all do. Anywhere you see a sign, usually there is something that is happening that should not be happening that they want you to stop doing. They put,
or in this case, do.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a sign in the elevator at the University of Alabama one time that said, and I'm not kidding, stop relieving yourself in the elevator. Stop it. Now, the only reason why you would put that sign there is somebody was doing it. Somebody out there was doing it, okay? They had to put this in this contract because it's the only thing I can assume he wasn't studying. He was studying when they watched film in the quarterback room, when Cliff Kingsbury and the other quarterbacks, Colt McCoy and Kyler, and they're all sitting at the table watching the film. I imagine they didn't have any problems with him there. He was locked in and focused there. But there's still more film study you have to do at home because the game of football is a complicated game. And the quarterback position is the most complicated position in sports. If they tell you need 4 hours of time, that tells me they weren't seeing you do it.
At least
4 hours.
4 hours of time.
I'm sure they would love more. And no, Madden doesn't count as film study. It's a really cool way if you're a fan of the game to get to know the game of football. But if you're actually playing football at the highest level, man, watch that iPad, open that up and watch the film that they gave you.
If you don't want to be a quarterback on an NFL team because it eats into your personal time, then why the hell are you here?
That's just what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tom Brady, and I don't want to go there because I don't think this is a fair assessment. But Tom Brady doesn't have to have an addendum in his contract that says, Tom, you need to study 4 hours on the iPad that we give you. Okay, Tom. I mean, I think that Tom has to go to them. I need more time in the film room. Dear God, Tom, go home. Here's an iPad. We have this new app we're going to give to you. We'll send you all the cuts and you can watch everything and break it down on the iPad.
Yeah. First off, I kind of disagree with you. I think it is a fair comparison. We're not comparing the outcomes. I don't think it's fair to compare anybody to Tom Brady when it comes to talking about rings and success. But when you start talking about Tom Brady's work ethic, that's the thing you control. Like, you may not be as talented as other people, though Kyler is incredibly talented. But you know what they say? Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. Tom doesn't need to be told this, okay? Peyton Manning damn near ruined a marriage because he was watching film so much. He'd have to figure out how to reorganize his life to keep the wife happy. That's what it takes, maybe not ruining your life, but watching the amount of film necessary to get the concepts, to know automatically when you see certain coverages, when you see certain looks, how to react so that you're not seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold, because that's what that is. That's what that looks like when you're not watching film. You just look lost, like that playoff game that we all had to watch at the end of last year. So, yeah, you've got to put in at least that much. And is it a little bit concerning that they had to build it into the contract? Yeah, but I think
a little bit.
I think it's more than a little bit concerning, but it's in there now, and clearly Kyler is motivated by the money. So maybe it'll work out.
888-368-1580. First time texting to the show. Let me get a round of AMFs for the fourth dimension. What is it?
It is it's a drink. It's a cocktail. I don't know all the things that are in it, but adios. MF. Yeah.
Adios, Mother Bunky. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have that, but Tide Stick. Thank you, Tide Stick, for that. Appreciate it. Big George. Hello, gentlemen. Happy Monday. Well, it was a good weekend for the Diamondbacks, who won 2 of 3 from the Washington Nationals and are now only 8 games back of the final. Oh, please. Come on, George. Come on. I'm not even going to read it.
I don't.
I'm not even going to read it, George.
I don't.
I
understand.
love you too much. I'm not going to do it.
Big George wants everybody fired. I don't know how coming out of this weekend you could still not want that.
I'm not even going to read it, Big George. There is no chance in Big George. I will buy you a steak dinner anywhere you want me to buy you a steak dinner if the Cardinals win the wild card. And book it. I will travel to Carlsbad. I will pack up the car and I will travel to Carlsbad. And I will come over and I will make you a steak dinner at your house. It's not going to happen. I ain't even worried about it.
You should.
Mr. Pringle says, so does little Kyler have to write a 500-word essay as part of his studying? Jealous much, Mr. Pringle? Donnie says, $46 million to a player, but worrying about their study habits, a recipe for that will sure work out in the end.
I mean, look, it's not a good sign. The first thing that popped in my head when I read that story earlier was the Jamarcus Russell and how the Raiders coaches gave Jamarcus Russell in the pre-iPad days a DVD. And they asked him. They gave him a DVD and they sent him home with the DVD. And they
hey,
said,
why don't this thing play in my car?
Jamarcus. Oh, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. So they said, Jamarcus, just watch the DVD and just tell us what plays you like. We're trying to put together the playbook. What do you like? What don't you like? And we'll go ahead and put together some concepts based on what you do well. Jamarcus Russell came back and they said, hey, can you tell us what you liked? And he said, oh, anything's good. Run whatever. I can do anything you want. The DVD was blank. They didn't put anything on it. He didn't watch it. So now, I mean, I don't want to say Kyler Murray is Jamarcus Russell. He certainly isn't. He is definitely better than that, and he's definitely worked harder than that. Because Jamarcus Russell also wouldn't exercise either. Like, Kyler's working hard, but he's not working as hard as he needs to be.
Yeah.
Clearly, because they had to put it in the contract.
Pull the plug says, seems like a high school homework thing. Is it based on height? Maybe. Silver Pop says, Randy's right. Or Randy said it. The proof is in the pudding. Thumbs up. Thank you, Silver Pops. Fed Fan says, Alice Cooper will have to write a new song for Kyler. The song School's Out. School's Not Out Forever. Very good.
School is in forever now.
Well, I mean, look, I mean, you are on an NFL team, and usually quarterbacks specifically usually are the ones that you have to kick them out of the building. You know what I mean? Generally, these guys are overachievers. You know, they're type A. You know, they run the team. They a lot of charisma. I mean, generally, not always, but generally. And they're the ones that work closely with the head coach and with the OC and the offense and the quarterback coach, and they want to get things right. But Kyler, if this doesn't say to you, there's a problem here, and we're not sure we're getting our money's worth, so we have to put an addendum in here that's going to make you do some homework so that you can be prepared. I don't know what it says.
That's exactly what it says. If you have to say it, I have to start asking why you felt the need to say it, why you felt the need to put that in there. You know what I mean? Again, my comparison, the reason why I compare Kyler so much with Josh Allen is because Josh Allen is another quiet guy. So I don't want to hear any excuses about how it can't be done. Josh Allen completed 52% of his passes in his first season. He's never been that bad ever again.
Don't you want to win, Kyler? Do you think that you're in the NFL and it just happens naturally? Maybe he's gotten by on his talent for so long that he's really hasn't had to bear down. You know, he hasn't had to really hit the books. It's come easy for him.
I mean, yes, I don't know how else to say that. I mean, you see what Kyler Murray can do. He's gotten by on those physical tools his entire life, on that arm, on that mobility. You know, he's gotten by on that. But you can't win a Super Bowl. You can't be consistently successful in the playoffs if that's all you do.
All right, Boomer Sooner. Yeah, you're right. I think Kyler will be out of football by the end of his contract. It's all going to come crashing down. Maybe. Got to take a break. We're late. Gee whiz. I hope Jeffrey's not listening. I've been late to all the breaks. When we come back, we'll get more comments about Kyler Murray's contract. It has an addendum in there that's laying out for him that he must study on game weeks 4 hours of his own time on an iPad provided by the team. And if he gets caught not doing it, he will be in default and will lose the contract. We'll talk about it more and get your comments at 888-368-1580 right around the corner here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Wendy's new Strawberry Frosty is here. So check your watch. Is it Frosty time yet? It probably is. The hour hand would be on, I'm feeling snacky. And the minute hand would be on, relaxing with a rich, creamy strawberry Frosty on a summer day, just digging into that smooth, chilly deliciousness and vibing. You know, depending on what kind of watch you have. When it's time for Frosty time, choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Frosty and Classic Chocolate or New Strawberry.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-857-8866. That's 800-857-8866.
For the latest in the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Arizona's new home for sports.
Yeah, it's a Daily Blender on a Monday here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, your home for the NFL. Training camps getting going all over the league now. Still waiting on some things to break. Like old Deshaun Watson, old Rubby Rubs. He still waiting on. I don't know what they're deliberating. I don't know what they're deliberating.
Well, I don't know what they're deliberating either. I just think that the league is trying to figure out what they can get away with.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. You spot on. I thought you were going to go a different direction, and Keon, you're 100% right. The league is trying to figure out a way. They would have already done it if they had any chutzpah whatsoever. The league would have already come out and said, look, 1 year, bam, done. They're not going to do it. Now they're trying to get all the PR things in place, for old Tuggy Tug there. And they're going to try to he didn't. He didn't commit any crimes, so we don't see how it really messed with our bottom line. I mean, our policy. And meanwhile, the Cardinals have a different problem on their hands. A Blissful Hayes, 888-368-1580 on the text line says, good afternoon, Randy Keon of Fort Dimension. Kyler doesn't have time to study the playbook. That would interfere with his gaming time. Winning isn't important to him. It's all about the money. See, I don't want to go that far yet.
Me neither. I think that Kyler is like a lot of people. Like he's not weird at all for being in the situation that he's in, which is most people want to be successful. If you just walked around on the street and asked most people, hey, would you like to be successful? Most people would say, yeah. When you ask them what they're doing to achieve that success, most people would also tell you, well, I don't know. Do you want to be more successful more than you want to hang out with your friends, more than you want to play video games, more than you want to, go party? Do you want to be more successful than that? Usually the limit there for most people is they're not willing to give up those things. And that's fine. You don't have to.
But he's a 24-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that there are some listeners to this program that I respect highly that serve in this nation's military in one facet or another. And you can come around and tell me, yeah, but there's 18-year-old kids that are flying drones and fueling up jets and loading ammunition into tanks and working the intelligent angle. Yeah, I get that. But Kyler Murray has been a sports kid. He's grown up playing sports. It's what he loves to do. And I believe at 24, this guy, it just doesn't get to him that he has to work this hard. It's probably he's uber talented and it's probably come easy. And he thinks he could just figure this out like everything else. And now it's starting to wake up and it's grow up time. And Michael Bidwell and the Cardinals are trying to mentor him by saying, look, man, you can't just walk in the NFL and win and be successful. You want to be successful? It takes work. That's what I think this whole thing is all about.
Yeah. It happens. I've seen it happen so many times. Uber talented, and I'll stick with quarterbacks. Uber talented quarterbacks get to the NFL, and the gap that they have to work to be great in the NFL is different than what they had to do in college. And the fact of the matter is, Kyler, despite the fact that he hasn't been putting in this time, apparently, has still been pretty successful at the NFL level. He's 500, 24-1. That's better than most guys get to be in the NFL. So the Cardinals are looking at that and going, well, if we could just get him to be a little bit more intense and a little bit more focused and put in that time, if this is what he did without putting in that time, imagine what he could be if he did. So they had to put that in the contract, and I don't blame him for it.
Silly Wabbit is on the text line. Doesn't Jeffrey put an addendum in his employees' contracts that they have to do some study to be a board op and host as well?
I kind of got thrown to the wolves.
Well,
I got trained by Phil.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, you got trained by Phil. Mm.
So like I said, thrown to the wolves.
Kiss the Cook says Kyler's not going to pass this test. He has a short memory. I hate myself. Also, you're late. What do you mean you're late? Late like the rabbit died late. What?
I'm not sure I follow, but.
Big George says, Randy, what can I say? I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to the Diamondbacks. I would be honored to have you make a steak dinner for me here in Carlsbad if the Diamondbacks make the playoffs. Unlikely to happen for sure. I need something to cheer for. How about the Padres? They're way better than the Diamondbacks. And you live there. Fed fan, just imagine if Ayton had this in his contract that he was supposed to study a certain amount of hours prior to various basketball games.
Yeah, but basketball
the NBA is different.
Yeah. Watching more film at a certain point in a sport where you can run the same play 10 times in a row, and if they don't stop, you just keep running it. That doesn't happen in football.
Yeah, football, it's a whole different dynamic, Fed fan. You know that. Thank you, Silver Pops. Appreciate it. All right, 888-368-1580. Kyler Murray could be in breach of his contract if he does not spend time during game weeks, during the season, studying for their upcoming opponents on his own on a team-supplied iPad. We'll have to wait and see how this turns out. And if you want to keep talking about it, clearly the text line is always open for your comments at 888-368-1580. Keon, what's wrong with Tyreek Hill? Hey, I thought we fleshed all this out. I think, I thought we had come up to this great, understanding that Tyreek has to build Tua up. He has to make it so it looks like he's Tua's guy. He's called out Patrick Mahomes, clearly, in my opinion, my humble opinion, a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa, which I have nothing against Tua Tagovailoa. I think the kid has been stunted a bit in his NFL career. He's had some hiccups and ups and downs, but his new hype man, Tyreek Hill, just won't shut up. He just won't shut up. All in for his new quarterback, and once again commenting number one's abilities. saying that he's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. Here we go again.
I mean, this is where Tyreek is right now, because this is what I imagine happened. Tyreek Hill went on the podcast. Well, it was his own podcast, actually. He just doesn't host it. But anyway, he went on the podcast and he said all the things that he did about Tua.
Yeah.
You know, how Tua was great, how he'd rather have Tua than Pat Mahomes. And everybody noticed and told him, as we all did, that's dumb, Tyreek. And when people tell you that something is stupid, when they call you out, you've got two options. You can agree and go, you know what, I went a little bit too far, but I do like Tua. I think he's great. He's going to have a great season. He could have done that. This whole thing would be squashed. We wouldn't be talking about it right now. The other thing you can do is dig your heels in. I'm not changing my mind. I said what I said.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. Tyreek Hill is doubling down on his take on Tua. And he's not backing off of it. And the more we tell him he's being insane, the more he's going to dig his heels in, because he's that guy.
Tua saying on his podcast, quote, I mean, obviously Tua is not your typical gunslinger, but if you were to just say, just pay attention to his game, everything is spot on. Everything is pinpoint, ball is on time. His fundamentals are on point. Tua's a blank heck of a competitor. He's a hell of a hard worker, end quote. Well, I mean, okay, he's a hard worker. He's pinpoint in practice. We're talking about practice.
Well, I think Tua's pinpoint in games too. I mean, he completed 67% of his passes last year, which actually was more accurate than Mahomes.
Yeah, man, but we're talking about practice.
But if you break it down, Mahomes had the more accurate deep ball, which to me is the more important thing to throw in the NFL, because that's you only get maybe 2 or 3 of those shots a game if you're lucky. And that's where games are won and lost a lot of the time. So I don't really care that Tua was only slightly more accurate than Patrick Mahomes last season. It almost doesn't matter. What we're talking about here is you're saying he's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, and you're not accounting for the importance of certain throws, which Tua does not throw the most accurate deep ball. He just doesn't.
Tagovailoa led the league in accuracy with a percentage of 71.3%, according to Pro Football Focus. He went 129 for 169, 1,025 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 2 picks on passing ranging from 1 to 9 yards. Let me say that real slow, so maybe Tyreek can hear. 1 to 9 yards.
Now, I hope they go more vertical with Tua this season, because I think he's got a stronger arm than he gets credit for. It's not a powerful arm, but it's not a noodle either. But still, he throws that short intermediate ball. That's where most of his damage gets done. And if you want to be successful in the NFL, you're going to have to go beyond that, at least sometimes.
They're going to have to stretch the field, man. There's no way the Dolphins can sit there from 1 to 9 yards and just keep blip, 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 blip. They've got to stretch the field out. I mean, they just can't do it. What are you expecting from Trevor Lawrence in year 2? Now that he's got Urban Meyer out from underneath him, now that the Jaguars have a new coaching staff, a real NFL coaching staff. You think Trevor Lawrence? You think he recovers, and does he start to look like what everybody thought, generational talent and luscious, silky, beautiful hair?
I think so. I do. He showed me some things near the end of last season.
Yeah.
Him and Zach Wilson were the two guys where the first half of the season I went, oh no, what's going on here? And the second half of the season, I saw some things. I saw some throws that were made. Those were NFL throws. Those were big time plays that both guys were making. I think you give Trevor Lawrence a real coaching staff.
Yeah.
I think that the guy's going to make a leap.
All right. 888-368-1580. Silver Pop says, it looks like the Cardinals are taking Kyler to school. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's Bruno Baller. Yeah. Silver Pop says, yo, Kyler, grow up. Yeah, well, that's true. Hour 1 down, hour 2 right around the corner here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
With our newest unlimited plan, everyone's welcome. Introducing Welcome Unlimited from Verizon for just $30 a line per month for 4 lines with autopay plus taxes and fees. Our best priced unlimited plan ever.
Did he say $30?
Yep, $30 a line for the whole family. The network you want, the price you love. Switch to Verizon today. Paper-free billing required. Unlimited 5G nationwide 4G LTE. In times of congestion, your data may be temporarily slower than other traffic. All smartphone lines on the account must be on Welcome Unlimited and are eligible only for select promotions. Includes domestic talk, text, and data usage only. Data roaming at 2G speeds.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K256 Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
And welcome everybody to a Monday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3, the Fanatic Arizona Sports Betting Station. My name is Randy White, right over there. That's the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose. He's on the platters, spinning the discs of steel today. And you are on the text line. You're the fourth dimension. 888-368-1580. You make the wheels go. You make the show happen. We're here because of you. So text in as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. Is it still like, I guess it would still be uptown, right? We don't like North Scottsdale.
Yeah.
We're out by the Scottsdale Air Park. Maybe it's north, right? I mean,
I would think so.
Yeah. It's not like we're broadcasting live from Greyhawk or anything, but yeah. Anyway, good to have you along with us on this Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. Some things that we were talking about last hour. KD is being pursued by the Celtics. I personally think that whole thing is done. I think that the KD to Boston thing is in the trash heap already. I don't think it's going to happen.
It can only work if Boston is willing to give up Jaylen Brown, which they said they would be willing to, but then somebody else. Is it going to be Marcus Smart? Is it going to be Time Lord? Because the Nets aren't going to just take a player and some picks. They kind of want to be pretty decent right now.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to probably end up putting a nail in that deal.
And we talked a little bit about an awkward clause in Kyler Murray's contract. I would have to say awkward because I would just assume that every quarterback in the NFL would want to do this. I mean, listen, I spent today, about 2.5 hours prepping for the show. Keon spends a couple hours prepping for the show. We're always reading our phones or reading online or, seeing something that is interesting so we can always continually educate ourselves. I know it doesn't sound like it, but Jeffrey does the same thing. I mean, we all are continually studying, trying to make the show better and trying to prep and things like that. Just part of being an adult. That's called adulting. And, the Cardinals believe that Kyler Murray needs a little more, how can I say it here? Prompting to be an adult and to study for his job. So in his newly minted and signed contract, Kyler has to, every game week, has to study some time on his own, 4 hours, in order to be able to not be in breach of contract. What do you think about that? 888-368-1580. Jeffrey was talking about this last week before he went on vacation. By the way, Jeffrey O'Brien, he'll be back later this week. Never fear. Is NFL launching a new streaming service? As a matter of fact, they were talking about it today. They have a new streaming service where you'll be able to watch. And this is not what do you call it? The red zone, not the red zone. What's the thing that he always gets? Is it the red zone that he always gets?
Yeah,
what does he get?
Not the red zone. Sunday Ticket.
Yeah, he gets the Sun. This is not Sunday Ticket. This is something completely different. It's an exclusive streaming service. It's called NFL Plus, and it's building on what the league has developed, the NFL Game Pass. It'll be offered at a basic and premium levels, the league said. It'll offer live, local, and primetime games on mobile and tablet devices, as well as live audio from every game. NFL library programming is also available on demand, amongst other perks. The starting price, $4.99 a month or $39.99 a year. Okay, $40. The commissioner said, today marks an important day in the history of the National Football League. We're going to make billions more. I mean, that he didn't say that, but
you read between the lines there.
Yeah. The passionate and dedicated football fans are the lifeblood of the NFL, and they keep padding our pockets with all sorts of dough. So we're going to keep shoveling out stuff that they'll pay for, because the people of America, they'll pay for anything. Well, he didn't say that either. He just said that fans have a new way now. NFL Plus, allowing fans to watch their local and primetime games live, and the ability to watch live out-of-market preseason games live on all devices, laptops included. Fans who want to listen to the game on radio can choose home, away, and or national calls for every game of the season. The on-demand programming, which includes NFL film archives and NFL Network shows, is ad-free. Yeah, but for how long?
Good point.
Come on, man.
Look, the ads are coming because they always are.
You're too young to remember this, but when cable TV first came out, that was the thing, man. You paid cable TV because they didn't have any ads.
Really?
Yeah, there was no commercials. There was no commercials.
Insane concept to me.
And then all of a sudden they started sneaking them in here, sneaking them in there. Yeah. And then the satellite TV, you probably don't remember this either. In its first iteration, you'd have this giant satellite dish set up at your house. I mean, the kids that had the satellite TV, you knew they were well off. Their parents were doing good. And he had this thing inside. It would move the dish around. It was kind of cool. It was like space age. And the thing would move around. The dish would adjust to different satellites that were in the sky. Again, the programming, commercial free.
And here we are.
And here we are today.
Full circle.
That's why I don't believe anybody that says, well, it's going to be ad-free. For how long? That's all I want to know. Fans can also upgrade to the premium, which is $9.99 a month or $79.99 per year, and add ad-free full game and condensed game replays across all devices and ad-free coaches film. The all 22 coaches film was previously on the NFL Game Pass and allowed fans to study the game tape as if they were a coach.
It's nice.
Aren't we taking fantasy football maybe a bit far here?
I mean, yes. And most of us, you get the all 22, you have no idea what you're looking at. But if you're interested in the game and the strategy of it and really getting into it, I could see how this could work out. It's something that I'm interested in, but I don't know if I want to pay $10 a month for it.
Well, the starting price $4.99 a month, but that's got ads with it. The $9.99 a month, that's the ad-free version.
That's the ad-free, but isn't that the one with
for now
the coaches film?
Yeah, it's got the coaches film. Yeah, that's $10 a month. Yeah, don't let the $9.99 fool you. That's the oldest marketing trick in the book, ladies and gentlemen. It's only $9.99. Think about it. It's $10.
Yeah.
So that's going on. I thought, so you think you might get this? Because you're one of those guys. You're on your phone a lot. I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, you're always reading stuff on there. Mm-hmm. You probably do. You have a TV in your apartment?
I do.
But do you watch it very much though?
I watch a little. I don't watch.
What do you watch more? Your phone or your computer or your TV? What do you watch?
It's in that exact order: phone, computer, then TV.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I can't do it. I'm too old. I can't do it.
No, I get it. It's because it's a weird transition because I'm one of those kids. I was kind of sheltered growing up and stuff. So I didn't have a phone when all of my friends had a phone. So I got mine last of basically everybody that I knew. When the smartphones came, I got that last out of everybody that I knew. So I'm on my phone a lot, but I'm not as attached to my phone as all of my friends are.
Oh God, there's some people that, oh man, there are some people that if they lose their phone for a second, they're having like a panic attack.
I broke my phone, I don't know, 4 years ago now, and I had to send it into Samsung to get fixed. That week without my phone might be one of the best weeks of my life.
No kidding. Oh, good for you.
It was amazing. No,
oh, wow.
It was amazing because I was just on Twitter too much. Because if you want to follow sports, unfortunately, that's a no-brainer way to just keep on top of everything is just be on Twitter all the time. I was just on way too much.
Well, I mean, I got one of the stories today. The Kyler Murray thing that came from my Twitter feed. And ladies and gentlemen, I hate Twitter. I'm sorry. If you follow me on my Twitter at Radio Randy 777, I very rarely tweet out anything because most of the time I think whatever I have to say is not very important. And if I do tweet something out, it occurred to me that it was amazing, it was wonderful, or it's extremely funny. That's really the only time I ever, Jeffrey says it's like a stream of consciousness. I'm barely conscious.
Look, if more people thought the way you did, Twitter would be a much better place. Like if you just only tweeted when you had something interesting to say, Twitter would be a much better
and it's
place
like it's like jumping in on a conversation halfway through. You ever notice that? You open up Twitter and you're only getting half the message. I think that's the problem. That's the inherent problem with Twitter right there. Because you jump in and somebody's like, hashtag my butt, and then you're okay. Now I have to read on because why is this person saying hashtag my butt? Okay, what made them say something that strong?
And the thing is that it's not a problem with Twitter because that's the way they want Twitter to be. Because then you show up halfway through this conversation, and then when you have to go back and catch up, that's time you've spent. That's ads you've seen. That they want that. They like that you're spending all that time on there. And just wasting it. They enjoy that.
Miss Kim, I'm thankful for her. She's like common sense in my life. Because I'll say something I saw on Twitter and I'll start raising my voice and I'll start getting, my jugular veins will start bulging and that thing in my head will come out and I get that wily eyed look and she'll, okay, you need to calm down. It's just Twitter. You need to calm down now.
Mm-hmm. No, that's you. Look, I'm glad that she's that for you. More people need just a person in their life that just says, hey, why don't you put the Twitter down? Why don't you back away for a little bit?
Kiss the Cook is on the Kiss the Cook is on the text line. Straight up trade Trevor Lawrence for Kyler Murray. Really?
What?
Whoa!
If your complaint is that Kyler Murray hasn't shown you a whole lot, Trevor Lawrence has shown you even less. That is a risk.
Tiger Paw says babysitting. No. Keon, you babysitting?
No. Are we talking about Kyler?
I don't know. Babysitting? Maybe. See, that's that right there. That's that Twitter mentality right there.
just a partial phrase.
and now I'm going to lay awake tonight. Probably 3:00 in the morning. I'll be saying Tiger Paw said babysitting as a question. Blissful Hayes says, congratulations to the Arizona Rattlers victory yesterday. Nice having a pro football team in Phoenix that can win in the playoffs. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The Hefty Lefty says, all 22s for actual football nerds. That's a different type of nerd as opposed to stat nerds. All 22s for people who love how football is actually played.
Yeah, I am that nerd. I'm a stat nerd too. When it comes to football, I just want to absorb all the information. That's just me. Yeah, I don't have a life during football season. Football's all I watch.
That's why you live with your brother. 20th says, apparently the Cardinals management doesn't think Mr. Murray is mature enough to play his position. Fortunately, a vast majority of us don't need a homework clause to earn a paycheck. That's true. Watermelon says, so this clause in Kyler's contract means that he gets to play Madden for research for hours? Did they define what the 4 hours of studying actually was? Yes. Let me go back to it because I think it's very important that we understand this clause. It means he has to actually, and let me just, independent study, number 3 under section 36, subsection number 3. Independent study means, and I'm reading directly from the contract, it means player studies the material provided to him by the club in order to prepare for the club's next upcoming game, including, without limitation, any such material provided via an iPad or other electronic device. Time spent in mandatory meetings shall not constitute independent study. Players shall receive no credit for independent study for any period during which player does not personally study the provided material in good faith. For avoidance of doubt, players shall not receive any credit for independent study with respect to any time periods during which any material is displayed or played on an iPad or other electronic device if A, players not personally studying or watching the material while it's being displayed or played, or B, player is engaged in any other activity that may distract his attention, for example, watching television, playing video games, or browsing the internet while such material is being displayed or played, period.
So basically, because they've got the different cuts of film that they're going to send out to
all
different
22
players.
They're gonna pay for the all 22.
And when they send all of those out, they're going to see, okay, this cut was open and it was open for 25 minutes. The video ended and he didn't go to another one. He didn't rewind the footage to see anything else. Because when you're watching a lot of film, like you can't see it all at once unless you're, I don't know, like Rain Man or something. You got to watch it again and watch it again. And when you watch it multiple times, then stuff pops out. You're like, oh, that guy's supposed to be open right now because this is what the concept is doing. Like, so when they have to say that, that's what they're talking about. If stuff is on the iPad and it doesn't play, but it's open, that does not count. You are clearly doing something else.
Blissful Hayes wants to know, what does Santa Claus have to do with Kyler's contract? A lot. 888-368-1580. Boogie, if you're listening, Aaron Glenn, who's the defensive coordinator for the for our Detroit Lions, I become sort of a pseudo Lions fan. Just because I like Dan Campbell and I like the way they approach the game. And I like the way Dan Campbell goes about playing the game with passion, or coaching with passion. And Jeffrey beats me up because Dan Campbell cried a little bit. But you know what? Out of frustration for himself and his team, I get it. I'm not okay in crying, but I get it. He was so frustrated. But anyway, Aaron Glenn, who's the defensive coordinator for the Lions, wants his team to play with violence.
I love it. How else are you going to win in the NFC North? You're not as talented as the other teams there. Maybe more talented than the Bears, maybe, but it's close. But you're not going to beat the Vikings if you're not playing brutal football. You're not going to beat the Packers if you're not playing brutal football. So I like it.
Aaron Glenn, who is a hot name right now around the NFL as far as coaching circles goes, he said, "I want my team to play the way I did, with violence."
I know that the league office doesn't love to hear that, though.
This game is about how many plays can I beat you in a 60 play game. How many plays can I outlast you? A couple of things that the Lions coaching staff talks about is playing with maximum effort, getting the ball back, playing with violence. I like this. Man. Come on, Keon.
How can you not? That's what the game of football is about.
That's who I was as a player. And as a defensive coach, that's what I go about. Yes. Violence. A slobber knocker. That's where they hit you and all the slobber comes out of your mouth.
Look, you're the Detroit Lions. You've got to win the game or win the fight. You got to win something. It may not be the game on a weekly basis, but by God, you're winning the fight.
Oh, man. Boogie. Aaron Glenn wants his players to play with violence. We got to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more NFL football. Did NFC West coach really say that trading Jimmy G was a Christmas present by the 49ers to the rest of the division? Did somebody in the NFC West really say that? And if so, who? I want to congratulate him. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so if that earphone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Where did I put that?
Pete's property manager just took an extended vacation.
Casita Dreams.
He needs a replacement before this becomes a cruel summer.
Oh, you wanted the lakefront for the 17th. How did this get double booked already?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Baseball is in full swing.
See you later! A walk-off, 3-run home run!
And we've got the grand old game covered like an infield tarp.
How about that?
Who's hot? Who's not? We've got the latest news, score, highlights, and info from around the league all season long.
It's a camper and it'll go all the way to the wall.
We are your MLB hookup.
Looking up and it's gone, a home run.
Get all the games you can handle on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
About halfway through the Monday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation. Be back here probably Thursday. I mean, maybe. Maybe he decides to retire. I don't know. You never know with Jeff Cook. Haven't heard from him. He said goodbye Friday, and that was it. And good for him. 888-368-1580 is the text line. It's Randy and Keon here on the Daily Blender. Kiss the Cook says, Keon, professionally, huge difference between the two. I think he's talking about Stacey Lawrence and Kyler Murray. Professionally, huge difference between the two. And as of now, I never heard of Trevor verbally dress down his teammates or quit and sulk on the sidelines.
I mean, that's true, but we've only got 1 year of Trevor Lawrence. I don't think after 1 year of Kyler Murray, we would have said that about him either. But, as time's gone on, we have seen how Kyler handles adversity. He does not handle it well. Trevor Lawrence, I have yet to really see him handle adversity. I suppose last season counts, but I want to see more before
whole season of adversity.
Yeah, and part of it was, wait, what do you do when the adversity is the coach? It's a different kind of adversity than what we're talking about with Kyler. Usually your adversity comes from the other team. What do you do when your head coach is the adversity? What do you do? I have no idea.
Coach doing the bump and grind on some co-ed. She's like, some guy that I think he's from television. He's bumping and grinding on me. I don't know. Kind of cool, I guess.
She kept posting on Instagram. Who is this? I don't know who this is. He's famous, obviously, but I don't know who he is.
Some old dude. Hefty Lefty says, Aaron Glenn sounds like he's opening camp with the old speech of, we may not be the best team in the league or the most talented, but by God, we're going to be the best conditioned and toughest team on the planet. I love it. Twitty and Aaron Glenn is right. Violence isn't about emotion. It's pure, unadulterated force. I love it. I feel in my bones a change in Detroit. And the Ford family or whatever it is that owns this team, they're not even going to know what's going on. They're just going to be going, what?
Yeah, I like their coaching staff. I like their general manager. I really think the Lions are moving in a good direction.
I need to order my Lions hat. I've got to wear that. I have to wear that. 888-368-1580, number one Rattlers fan. Here he is. So I predicted 53-43, got the Rattlers' exact score. And, well, as you know, Duke City did not show up at all. Yeah, that's for sure, number one Rattlers fan. We did a whole thing at the top of the show. Where were you at 3 o'clock? Hey, Keon gave me the whole rundown. We did the highlights and everything. It was the best piece of radio gold I've done ever. in 40 plus years of radio. That's okay. You probably had something like work. Work always gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Fed fan says Hefty Lefty's speech was the same one my high school basketball coach used to tell us all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've all heard it. So, Keon, when you hear something like what I'm about to read to you, I want to know your instant reaction. Trey Lance over Jimmy Garoppolo is a Christmas gift the 49ers gave the NFC West. This was an anonymous NFC West coach. So, first of all, I have a problem with that. If you're going to say it, you know what? Own it. But the quote is, that would be my early Christmas present if they just got rid of Jimmy so that we can play, so he can't play for them, and then make Trey be your guy, said the anonymous coach. Well,
I understand why you don't say it, because coaching is a fraternity, and you say something that is critical of Kyle Shanahan, and if Kyle Shanahan is the only person that can hire you one day, you don't want to be on record as having said any of those things about the guy that he and his general manager traded a bunch of assets to go up and get a guy. Bashing their guy, not a good look. Not a good look. It could come back and bite you in the ass one day. So that's the reason why you only ever hear this stuff when guys say things anonymously. But I think with Trey Lance giving up on Jimmy G is stability. He is somebody who, if you put a good roster around him, and the Niners do have a good roster, you can win a lot of football games. You can go to NFC title games. You can go to a Super Bowl. But what they were afraid of was you go to the Super Bowl and you run into a guy like Pat Mahomes, you run into a Josh Allen. When the play is wrong, Patrick Mahomes can make it right. Jimmy G can't do that. And so Trey Lance has that ability. He's got the arm talent, as they say. He's got that mobility. He's a smart dude. He has all of that. But I do think that he's very raw. When they drafted him, he didn't play very much football up there at North Dakota State. The COVID year took 1 year away from him. He only played one game that year, and he didn't play very many games even as a freshman.
Yeah.
He didn't lose any, but he didn't play very many. So there's still question marks about him.
Another head coach said, I love the skill set of Lance, but he's had ball accuracy concerns on his tape coming out, and he was really raw. Another head coach told Sondo, the guy that wrote the article, there's very little I've seen of him this last season. He's got a little Tim Tebow to him. It's a long delivery. It seems like there's some mechanical things he has to work out, but that's it from watching a limited number of plays.
He does have a long delivery. I wouldn't say it's quite Tebow. Tebow had the longest delivery I've ever seen in my life. And look, you can have a long delivery if you've got a strong arm. You'll be fine. Ask Warren Moon about his delivery. It worked out. Okay, Warren Moon is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Yeah. He had a long delivery too, but his arm was a howitzer. So he was okay. Trey Lance has got a great arm. So I'm not worried about the delivery at all. But the accuracy stuff is true. And I think that that's the reason why the Niners really tried to avoid playing Trey Lance in any situation where he really had to throw the football, because I think that they saw him and realized they needed to work on that throwing motion. They needed to work on his footwork even, so that he could become a more accurate passer. And they didn't want him to be in games where all of the stuff we teach you in practice, when someone's about to hit you, when there's a 300-pound dude coming your way, you fall back on old habits because that's what's comfortable. They just wanted him away from that. So hopefully this Trey Lance we see, and I mean hopefully for the 49ers, the Trey Lance we see is different from the Trey Lance that they drafted in terms of a mechanical issue.
Yeah, 888-368-1580. Got a few texts here. Blissful Hayes says, does Steve Keim have a clause in his contract that says he won't drink and drive? Well, I don't know. We were talking about Kyler Murray. I don't know about that. Blissful Hayes. It's a good question. Number one Rattlers fan says dialysis. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, I know. Something always gets in the way, huh? I hope you're feeling well, number one Rattlers fan.
Same.
Kiss the Cook says, my take on Kyler is not wavered one bit. I said he would be done in 4 years, and I still believe strongly he will be. Could be.
And did you say 4 years from now or 4 years from when he got drafted?
Probably from when he got drafted, I would imagine.
Because then you'd
Kiss the Cook
be
is
wrong.
maintained. Kiss the Cook is not a Kyler Murray fan.
Which look, understandable. He has given you a lot of reasons to doubt him. But if you're going to say he's going to be done in 4 years, I mean, this is it, right? Like, has he not reached the 4 year point?
I have to wait and see, I guess. Silver Pop says, work. Don't ask Kyler to work. What a freaking joke. I agree.
And I think Kyler works. I don't want to make it seem like he doesn't, but it's one thing to go to the gym and work out. This was always a big thing with Robert Griffin. I mean, Robert Griffin was in the gym all the time. Dude was not watching film as often as he was in the gym. And that's just because one is easier for you to do. Seems counterintuitive, but one is easier for you to do. The film study is hard and tedious and kind of boring.
Yeah. So back to Trey Lance. When the Cardinals faced him, I thought he was pretty good. I thought he even in the midst of a pretty good defense that we put on him, he held his ground. He kept his composure. He didn't seem to get crazy. And my knock on Jimmy G, yeah, okay, he came in. He had a good start coming over from the Patriots. The 49ers thought they'd struck gold. He came out and won something like 6 games in a row for the 49ers. And it looked like he could do no wrong. You know, he was just back there. And then he got hurt. And then the injury started popping up. Last year, it was a toe injury, put him out for like 6 weeks. Which I'm sorry. I don't get the toe injury. I'm sorry. I'm not saying these guys aren't tough. I'm saying I don't understand the toe injury on a quarterback. You know, well, I mean, I don't know.
It does matter. I think especially for more mobile quarterbacks, definitely matters. You got a toe injury, and like that's part of your game is being able to escape, extend plays. But then also, with him,
I mean, I could see a ligament thing, but if it's a broken toe, I mean, tape it up, shoot some stuff in there, and get out there. Put your cleat on and get out there.
Yeah, I just don't think that they necessarily wanted him in a situation where, you make something worse. You got the young player. You just try and protect him and make sure he can just be out on the field playing.
So with this in mind, that it seems as though San Francisco is moving towards the Trey Lance era, and they're letting Jimmy G find his way out of town. Jimmy Garoppolo's agent and him started looking for landing spots. Now, sportsbetting.ag has updated its odds for Garoppolo's next team. And this includes just recently last week. So even with the Browns adding Josh Rosen in there, the future Hall of Famer, they have the Browns leading at a plus 225 to be the likely landing spot for Jimmy Garoppolo. The Giants at plus 350. The Seahawks, which I would think that's where he would end up at plus 350, or the Texans at plus 400. I would have thought he would end up there. I don't think the Lions, the Bears, the Jets, or the Saints are going to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're the longest odds. So 888-368-1580, where do you think that Jimmy G is going to end up, 49er fans? And Keon, where do you think? I mean, as we sit here on this Monday, I mean, it's all speculation, but it's kind of fun to talk about. Where do you see? I don't see the Browns.
No, but I think the Giants.
Really? So you think that the Giants are done with Danny Dimes, huh?
Well, they have a new coaching staff and a new general manager in there. These people did not draft Daniel Jones. I think that the Mara family, the owner of the team, I think he likes Daniel Jones. He's been pounding the table for Daniel Jones, but at some point that coaching staff is going to override it. And I really think what the Giants want is somebody who is stable and competent at quarterback. Daniel Jones is not a dumb guy, but he makes dumb plays. He makes dumb decisions. He's got a very strong arm, and I think that he has never met a window that he doesn't think he could fit a football through. And that's a problem because he throws interceptions like it's going out of style. He has to stop that. Yeah. And I think that they're going to take some looks as we get into training camp here. And I really think this new coaching staff is going to look at Daniel Jones and go, are we really going into an NFL season with this guy? You know, if we go Garoppolo, it's the last year of a deal. We can see if we like him. And if Garoppolo's good with us, we can go ahead and extend that. And if not, then we can start looking for our quarterback of the future. But they're not married to Daniel Jones. They didn't draft him. They didn't bring him in. So they're gonna be more critical of Daniel Jones than I think any coach has been in his entire tenure as quarterback.
Let's see. Last year was his best year as far as completion percentage goes, 64.3. He threw 2,500 yards, or 24-28, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He had a quarterback rating 84.8. His highest quarterback rating was in his first year. It was also his highest year of yards. He threw 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. But look, I think Daniel Jones has been given a raw deal.
Yeah, but the fact is he hasn't grown as a player either. You know, as much as that's the case, and they change coaches a lot, that's not going to help him. The offensive coordinators in and out the door for Daniel Jones. That's not necessarily his fault. But when you throw a pass into double coverage, you don't have to do that. You know, like just because the coaching staff is not ideal and that offensive line is bad doesn't mean that some of the throws that he makes, he has to try to make. He doesn't.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got more NFL talk around the corner. And later on in the show, you got to stick around for this. What does Tom Brady and J-Lo have in common that talks about Super Bowls and rings? I've got that for you coming up here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey guys, the Royal Management Team has gathered you here in Yield Conference Room to announce that thanks to all your hard work, the granary has enjoyed record profits this year. Nice. That said, there still isn't room in the budget for raises, but we will be providing gift cards to Grimwald's Tavern. I'm sorry, I've been informed they are actually coupons, not gift cards.
Throughout history, people have always been underpaid. That's why Monster lets you search jobs by salary. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works over time with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
With our newest unlimited plan, everyone's welcome. Introducing Welcome Unlimited from Verizon for just $30 a line per month for 4 lines with autopay plus taxes and fees. Our best priced unlimited plan ever.
Did he say $30?
Yep, $30 a line for the whole family. The network you want, the price you love. Switch to Verizon today. Paper-free billing required. Unlimited 5G nationwide 4G LTE. In times of congestion, your data may be temporarily slower than other traffic. All smartphone lines on the account must be on Welcome Unlimited and are eligible only for select promotions. Includes domestic talk, text, and data usage only. Data roaming at 2G speeds.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
That feels good on my sacroiliac. A little funk from my soul bone. 888-368-1580 as hour 2 of the Daily Blender rolls on. Jeffrey O'Brien back later this week. My name is Randy White. That's Keon Rose, and we're broadcasting from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Yes, also at 95.9 FM on your FM dial if you're in the East Valley, out by Fountain Hills, that sort of thing. You could be expecting our signal is only going to get better. I mentioned last week we moved to transmitter sites. We had to because when we went full power on the flamethrower 1580, the other transmitter building would catch fire, and that is a true story. Jeffrey has pictures to prove it.
That's insane.
We should actually put those on there. If you don't think that 1580 The Fanatic is mighty and powerful, take a look at these pictures. Anyway, 888-368-1580. You're checking in on the text line. Chief Skull says, what about Jimmy G to Detroit? I mean, it's a good question, but do you think he fits the Detroit mold?
He could. I don't think that Jimmy G is a guy that shows up and changes your team, and that could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. I think in the case of the Lions, Dan Campbell is the guy that is the culture setter there. Sometimes it's your coach, sometimes it's your players. Yeah. In this particular case, it's the coach. It's Dan Campbell. What the Lions are about is what he's about. It's about passion. It's about fire. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo could show up and fit in there. Mm-hmm. I just don't think the Lions are trying to win this year. I think they want one of those quarterbacks. Same thing with the Seahawks, which is the reason why Aaron
Glenn comes out and said we need to play with violence. Come on.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't sound like a team that's tanking to me.
I don't think it's a
we're going to beat the hell out of you, but we're going to lose.
I don't think it's a coaching thing. I think they're going to put players out there, but are they going to try too hard to go and get a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo? When look, you go run Jared Goff out there again. If Goff shows you something, then he shows you something. And if he doesn't, you got Bryce Young as quarterback. Hey, congratulations.
It's mouth breather. That's what that is. It's
mouth breather.
Really is. I like it.
Silver Pop says, hey guys, just remember on that goal line stance where Simmons stopped Lance, just saying, yeah, well, that's Isaiah Simmons and he's a beast. That's all I got to say. And I think he's going to have a monster year for the Cardinals. I think they have finally learned Isaiah Simmons. I think they have finally learned, leave him alone. Let him be a monster back there. Let him roam around like a monster man and just hunt the ball down.
Yeah. There are two guys in the league that are like that to me. And he's one of them. And Derwin James with the Chargers is the other guy where it's just.
Well, so is, he was the linebacker, Legion of Boom. Now he's on the, is it the Chiefs? No. Who's he on now?
Did he join the Niners? Am I wrong about that?
Maybe he did. Maybe he's on the Niners, or is he on the Rams? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I think the Cardinals defense is going to be key this year. Cardinals defense is going to be key. If the Cardinals defense doesn't step up, I don't care how good your offense is.
It was the Rams. It's Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner. There you go. Thank you very much. I was going to lay awake at night.
I'd hate for you to do that.
Cardinal Art says, but the Giants need O-line help. Sorry. And a whiteout. Only way Jimmy lands there. Seattle or New York Giants is where Jimmy G's landing spot. May I have a cold beer, please, Randy? Of course you can. Of course you can, Cardinal Art. There it is for you, my friend. Tell the family we said hi. Random Texter says, Randy, you mentioned Daniel Jones got a raw deal. Do you think his was worse than Josh Rosen's? No, come on. Rosen was brought in here. It was a bad pick. They brought him in here. They were panicking. They wanted a franchise quarterback, and look what they did. They ran him out of town as soon as they could go get Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is still starting, despite all of the stuff we just said about him. He's gotten many opportunities to show his stuff. Josh Rosen never got that. Not really.
After he left, he says, Bobby Wagner on the Rams. Thank you. Big George says, is the new 1580 the Fanatic transmitter located in South Phoenix near 40th Street in Southern? I missed the transmitter. It was located in Mesa. It provided coverage in the East Valley. Don't worry, Big George. We're only at why do you care? You're in Carlsbad.
Yeah, that was my first question. Big George, I understand that you've got ties to the East Valley, but you don't live here.
Listen, when we power the flamethrower up 1,000%, and we start to, and you hear humming from where the new transmitter, you'll know we have unleashed the beast on the valley. The flamethrower, 1580, the Fanatic. 888-368-1580. What's going on in New England, Keon? Why is Bill Belichick? First of all, I've seen some weird pictures of him lately. Is he okay? I've seen him walk around in various clothing outfits. He had like a Glad bag, and it was way up here like a crop top, and he was wearing like some sort of crazy sweatpant outfit thing that was halfway up his shins. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if he was going into the pool or what was happening. But now the Patriots apparently have not named a defensive or offensive coordinator for this season. Officially, they have not. Joe Judge is there, and Matt Patricia's there, both with a combined 3 years of head coaching experience. And according to some reports, they like it that way, and that Joe Judge and Matt Patricia are not coordinators, rather they're just coaches. What's going on in New England?
Actually, nothing new. I mean, the Patriots have done this kind of thing before. I don't know that they've ever gone into a season with no offensive coordinator, but I know they've gone into a few seasons in the past with no named defensive coordinator. The defensive coaches and Bill put their heads together, create the game plan, and then Bill calls the plays or has one of them call the plays. And I think that for him, he just kind of likes the fluidity of it. He doesn't have to commit to any one person. And if that person's screwing up, well, now I've got to demote you or fire you. Look, we're all doing this together. We're doing it by committee. It's strange. I'm not going to pretend like this is normal. No other team in the league operates this way, but I think that Bill Belichick, by virtue of all of the championships that he has won there, has earned himself a level of cachet that whatever he chooses to do, Robert Kraft's not going to say anything.
Well, obviously, because Robert Kraft is busy getting massages in Jupiter, Florida. But the bottom line is Belichick he's not named either one of these guys as coordinators. And if my mind is failing a little, weren't they coordinators before? Wasn't Judge, wasn't he a special teams coordinator?
Yeah.
And wasn't Matt Patricia the defensive coordinator?
That is correct.
When they left?
Yeah, but Patricia was the defensive coordinator hired by the Lions, completely flamed out because he's an awful coach. And now he's back. And Joe Judge, I wouldn't say flamed out, but the Giants never put 2 and 2 together while he was the head coach over there. So now he's back in New England as the special teams coach, I guess, not coordinator. And so they had those titles before. And Bill has decided this season, which he does from time to time, we're not doing the titles this year.
It's got to come down to money. It's got to come down to some sort of a money thing. It just smells like they're doing this so it's like a deal for the Patriots. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's like a value deal. Patricia and Judge are still getting paid from their former teams, right? I mean, they didn't get a buyout. I don't recall them getting buyouts when they were released. So they're getting money from their other teams. But if they're named coordinators, I wonder if that has something to do with their paychecks from the other teams.
Maybe,
because why not use the other team's money to fill your coaching staff out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it happens in New England. I think more than anywhere else, guys will go try their hand at being a head coach. It doesn't work. There's always room for you to come back. But I think the cost of that is you may not end up making as much money. These guys have agents. There's no way I can name you the defensive coordinator and have that guy's agent be okay with what I might be paying you if I'm not paying you enough.
888-368-1580. I've got a weather update here. Hefty Lefty says milk dud sized raindrops in the North Valley around 7th Street and Bell. Well, there is some activity going on, but I can't break away from what I'm doing right now. It's rain. It's going to be okay. There's a flash flood warning in effect for Maricopa County. So, welcome to the monsoon, everybody. 888-368-1580. Big George says, when the 1580, when the flamethrower that was at 50,000 watts, I was able to pick it up here in Carlsbad. I'm hoping to hear it again on my transistor radio when the flamethrower is powered up. Oh, the flamethrower. It will go live. It will go live, George. And you will again hear it. 888-368-1580. So New England, no coordinators, but that's not a big issue because you got to know that Belichick is not the only one calling stuff in there. He's not the only guy. Speaking of that, Devin McCourtney shared a Gronkowski jewel in a recent interview. Rob Gronkowski, he's been known for a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So Rob, he liked to have fun, and he didn't let football stop him from having a lot of fun, if you know what I mean. He liked to party it up. He liked to enjoy having, the libations, the occasional libations, and maybe, pounding Budweiser cans on his forehead, that sort of thing. McCourty explained that he was traveling with Rob. They were going to West Virginia to the Greenbrier. That's been not only a legendary golf facility, but also they've got athletic facilities there. And there's been many teams that have gone to the Greenbrier in West Virginia to practice. Kind of isolated. You get out there, get a lot of work done. So according to Devin McCourty, he says Gronk gets off the bus and we're just talking about football training camp. And he goes, bro, since I kind of calmed down and I'm not partying as much, not doing as much off the field, the game seems so much easier. I understand the playbook, like my eyes and everything. I'm dead serious. And McCourty goes on, he says, we're sitting there like, hold on, you got drafted in 2010, so you're telling me these first 4 years or 5 years of your career, there's been another level you haven't unlocked yet? Like you've just been out there winging it to a certain extent? Gronk's like, since I quit partying, bro, I'm like getting this whole football thing. Can you believe that? Can you imagine?
Words I never want to hear Kyler Murray say. Hey, since I quit
playing video games and actually studying,
can you believe this? I'm gonna be a Hall of Famer. It reminds me of the story that I heard about Brett Favre, actually, that Brett Favre was maybe in his second year in Green Bay, which would have been his third year in the league. And he turns to I forget which player. I think it might have been Donald Driver, but I could be forgetting. And he goes, what's a cover two? And Donald goes, you're joking, right? Like, no, what's a cover two? And then when Donald explained it to him, he was like, oh, I know what that is. But he didn't know what it was called.
Oh, you mean when there's two guys over the... Oh, right. Okay. I can't believe this. So, I mean, he's getting off the bus, Gronk and McCourty. And he's been in the league for 5 years already.
I can't believe that either.
That season, when McCourty goes on to share, that season was the season that he had one of the biggest years of his entire career. He amassed 1,176 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns, first team All-Pro honors. I mean, it was like the guy, he wasn't out partying every night. He got comeback player of the year. He had 90 receptions. It was crazy. He just said all these different things. And since I quit partying and I calmed down, I'm not partying as much. The game seems so much easier. Imagine that, Gronk. Gronk get ball. Kill.
I wish I had that level of talent. I could just go out in the NFL and just wing it.
Holy cow. All right. 2 hours down as we go into the break here. Across the top of the hour. When we come back, Tom Brady, he leads in another category. We'll talk about that when we come around the corner. Have some fun with that. Also, there's some questions facing AFC teams right now. For the West, what could be some of the answers? We'll dive into that as we continue talking NFL. Hey, training camps are starting, man. We're getting close to football. Woohoo! It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Be right back.
New message.
Hey, man, it's Devin. You know, from that time you accidentally emailed me because you thought I was a different Devin. Oh, and your email signature said confidential. If you receive this in error, please delete. That's so you. Anyway, I heard you bought a boat. When are we setting sail, Captain?
When you get a boat, you also get new friends. Make sure Progressive's one of them and get coverage today for as little as $100 a year.
Oh, and no, you did not receive this message in error.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-857-8866. That's 800-857-8866.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs. Protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K242 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
Quiet, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
It's the beginning of hour number 3 for this Monday, July 25th on 1580 and 99.3, the Fanatic of the Daily Blender. My name is Randy White. That's the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose, over there. Behind the glass, hermetically sealed, as it were, working the steel tables of justice. I'm getting good at this. Talking about you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Steel tables of justice.
I feel like it's super good.
Yeah. The fourth dimension texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580 as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. You know, one of the amazing facts about Harmon Solar. I remember when he used to come in. I don't want to say his name because he might hear his name. But I remember when he used to come in, and Jeffrey asked him one time, does Harmon Solar work when it's cloudy? When the solar panels work? He's like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, that's amazing.
No,
that's crazy.
Pretty brilliant.
And the solar panels can work, but they got the snow on them. They got the whether the sunshine, they got the cloud cover, rain coming down. I mean, I would imagine hail sometimes damages them. Like, that's amazing. Miss Kim and I, we need to check in on solar power. Harmon Solar, certainly the place you want to do it. They are our partners and our friends, and we appreciate them. Big George says, question for Keon Rose, 1580 The Fanatic. Do you think the Buffalo Bills are the early Super Bowl favorites heading into 2022? Number one, I think they have the best shot of anybody and would love to see them get their first ever Super Bowl championship. What say you, Mr. Keon Rose, sexiest man in sports talk radio?
They're up there. I don't know if they have the best shot. They've got a great shot. They've got a great quarterback. They are the best team in their division by a significant margin. But I can't help but think, and we may talk about this here in a second, the AFC West, that division is a bloodbath. And whoever comes out of there, whether it's Kansas City, Denver, whoever, the Chargers, the Raiders, whoever comes out of there has to be a monster of a football team to come out of that division, where you have four teams that could on paper be playoff teams, but somebody's got to stay home.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. I think the AFC West is the division this year. I think they are the division. I think it's going to be so much fun seeing how this plays out. 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says Gronk was the definition of naturally talented at something, at many things. I mean, I understood he was legendary at the University of Arizona at beer pong. I also understood that he was legendary at taking the beer, with the hose, the beer shot. What do you call it? The shotgunning, where it goes down the tube, and the oil thing.
Is it the keg stands? The
kegs. Okay.
I don't know. Actually,
I don't know.
Drinking is a recent development for me, actually.
Also, Hefty Lefty wants us to know that Wet and Forget sounds like a code name for ladies' night at Chippendales.
You'll have to take that up with Procter & Gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that spot.
Blissful Hayes is excited. The NFL season is starting soon, which means J.J. Watt will be going on the injured list at about the same time. Wow. Blissful Hayes, thank you.
Unnecessary, sir.
Good cat. Randy, Keon, what's happening? What's happening with you? Just doing our thing. 888-368-1580. Tom Brady, as I was saying, leads another category. Even though Kyler Murray just got paid $230.5 million and signed the contract, and it has the clause where he must study 4 personal hours of game week every week. He must study 4 hours of game film each week on his own personal time. Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady, the GOAT, received a 97 rating for Madden 23. Do you agree with that? I don't.
I kind of do. He keeps playing at a high level. I don't know how you take him, below 95 or whatever. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game still.
Tom Brady, is he better than Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think so.
Yes, we know championship rings. Yes, we understand that.
I'm just talking purely just talent based. No, I don't. Not at this point in time. No.
Tom Brady, is he better than Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Is he better than Josh Allen?
I would not say so. No.
Okay, he's better than Dak Prescott.
Correct. Yes.
Is Dak Prescott better than Justin Herbert?
I saw their top 10. I wouldn't put Dak Prescott on that top 10. I have not been I'm not a hater of Dak, but I think Dak's got a clear and obvious ceiling that a lot of guys that he ends up in the same conversation with, they don't have.
But Tom Brady is not 97. I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are 97. Aaron Rodgers is 97. Tom Brady, okay, if he's 97, that's fine, but you cannot have Aaron Rodgers as a 96, Patrick Mahomes a 95, and Josh Allen is a 92?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is an 87?
The issue with trying to bring Tom Brady down is that he has been one step of every defense he's ever played since he's been a pro in the NFL. He still is. He's still beating teams with his brain. He doesn't have the arm. He doesn't have the mobility. He doesn't have the strength. This is one of the confusing things about Tom Brady. His game is not at all predicated on what his physical tools are. It never has been. So
he
now
just
that
knows the game better.
Yeah. And so there is a stat in the Madden that is awareness. And Tom's has to be what's pulling him up to 97
you
and
remember
all these other guys.
Remember we were talking about wide receivers and this same thing? Remember that? And Jeffrey was here and Jamar Chase, he didn't get a good rating. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady tweets him and says, "Don't sweat it, man. Madden didn't even put me in the game in my second year."
Because he didn't matter at that point.
Right. In the first two seasons of the NFL, Brady was listed as quarterback number 12 in Madden. He received a 57 rating in his first year in the game and a 51 in his second season. That shot up to 84 in 2003.
Gee, I wonder what happened around that time.
In case you're wondering, Kyler Murray doesn't even make the top 10. Doesn't even make the top 10.
I mean, who would you knock out of that top 10 to put Kyler Murray in there?
Well, I listen,
maybe Dak, but that's about it. I don't think I could knock anybody else out of that.
Okay, so this has got to irritate the fourth dimension. I've got to hear their Tom Brady 97. Okay, say what you will. Okay, it's what it is. Madden rates him a 97. I think it's bogus, but okay. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers at 96. Patrick Mahomes at 95 is number 3. Josh Allen 92 at number 4. Dak Prescott number 6 at 89. Justin Herbert is 88 at number 7.
I mean, that's just insane. Dak
number
Prescott
8 is Russell Wilson at 87. Number 9, Lamar Jackson at 87.
I wouldn't take Dak ahead of any of those people. Those last 3. I wouldn't. If you gave me a clean slate, start your franchise, I'm taking Herbert and I'm taking Lamar before I take Dak. And I don't know, we haven't heard from Baby Got Dak in a little bit, so she might have some exception to that, but I'm just saying I would take those guys before I took Dak Prescott as my quarterback.
Okay. Kyler Murray ranked outside the top 10. It doesn't say here in this article exactly where he was. Matthew Stafford is ranked 10th with an 85. Are you kidding me? Matthew Stafford is ranked in 85. Didn't they just win something like a big game or something here just recently?
Some kind of award.
Didn't he throw to some guy named Cupboard or something? It's was the number 1 receiver. Wasn't there some going on? Didn't they just get a piece of jewelry or something? And he's 87.
He's the 10th in the top 10. After that year he had last year, wow, they have to be messing with us. Like, that's every time I see something like this, like they're screwing with us. They have to be.
Okay. 888-368-1580. Let's go. Let's hear it. Oh, this is not about it. Good Catch says, Wet and Forget is a great texter name. Okay. I'll write it down. Hefty Lefty, beer bong is the apparatus in question. Beer bong. Thank you. How do you know that, Hefty Lefty? Number 1 Rattlers fan, from current quarterbacks, who would you rather have to go 95 yards in a game-winning touchdown with 2 minutes? Who would you rather have to take your team down 95 yards with the final 2 minutes from current quarterbacks. Keon, you go first.
I mean, it's the chalky answer, but going Pat Mahomes. I've seen him do it to people a bunch of times. They can score
13 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even need 2 minutes. Give me 13, and 15 will take me to the end zone.
Yeah, I'd have to go. I'd have to go Aaron Rodgers. There's no bad answer. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes,
any of those top 5 guys.
Yeah.
I think you pick one of them, you're all right.
Doc Mike wants to know, but could Gronk butt chug?
You and your internet service provider, sir. You keep that between you two.
Doc Mike, is that currently known as an enema? Big George is on the text line at 888-368-1580. Where's the future Hall of Famer Mitchell Trubisky on this Madden list? He's like 98. I don't know. It didn't even mention him. It didn't even mention Big George. Where's Mitchell Trubisky, the future Hall of Famer? The future Hall of Famer, Mitchell Trubisky. Kiss the Cook says Kyler Murray couldn't even make the short list of quarterbacks. And then he goes,
So I'm looking at the Mitchell Trubisky Madden 23 rating.
And
this is not a joke.
Okay.
He is rated a 69. Nice. Nicely done. I'm not even kidding with you.
Ooh.
It's on MaddenRatings.com.
What's Jimmy G rated? What's Jimmy G? Is he 69 as well?
Ooh.
Didn't he date a porn actress or something?
Yeah, I think somebody saw him out at dinner with one. I don't.
Oh, jeez. Jimmy 69? Come on.
I'm trying to find it right now.
888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty, I think Trubisky's listed as a second string punter. True.
He's a 77, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Garoppolo's a 77.
Missed opportunity, quite frankly.
What did they? I'm just curious. What do they give? What they give our guy? What they give Kyler?
Kyler is an 84. Wow. So not bad.
No, it's not bad. No. 888-368-1580. There was more to the Zimmer Kirk Cousins drama that we didn't see, Keon. I came across this on Yahoo. Apparently, Mike Zimmer, his disdain for Kirk Cousins, it ran much deeper than many people. Much people knew. Ben Lieber went on a Colin Cowherd podcast, and it didn't seem. It made this statement. It didn't seem like it was ever the way I thought a head coach and a quarterback should interact, and it wasn't new news. We've been talking about this locally for really probably the last 2 seasons.
I can tell you that just from watching TV. When your head coach looks like he wants to murder his quarterback, that's obviously an unhealthy work situation. Yes.
Zimmer was giving him the stink eye, literally. He only has one eye left. He gave him the stink eye.
If looks could kill, Kirk Cousins would be dead maybe 20 or 25 times over. I mean, he never liked him. Zimmer never liked him from the beginning.
Ben Lieber goes on to say, I think it really came to a head during training camp when Kirk and others, and that's the thing, there were others on the team that decided to not get vaccinated, but it was like Kirk was being singled out. You could see the disdain that Zimmer had towards the situation.
I mean, because because Zimmer got vaccinated, and I don't even think Mike Zimmer really wanted to be vaccinated, but he's like, screw it. I got to do it for the team because I'm coaching. My quarterback can't do it. I'm old and my quarterback can't do it. Like he definitely did hate that. That is, I mean, I go back and watch some of those press conferences where they were asking him about it. He wasn't even trying to hold his anger back. He wasn't.
Lieber says he's not blaming Zimmer for everything that went wrong in Minnesota. Quite the contrary. He believes Zimmer was the big reason the defense for not being worse last season. He said there were clear issues between the former coach and quarterback that led to an unhealthy situation for the team as a whole.
Like, if you work in a place where the boss hates one of the employees, but he can't fire him, that's a bad work situation. There's just no getting around it.
Cousins tried to set up weekly coach quarterback meetings. Oh, jeez.
Because Kirk's a good guy.
As a means of forming some sort of player-coach connection. Because there was none.
And because Kirk Cousins is a legitimately good person.
Gave him the stink eye.
Like, he knows this man hates his guts. Like, he knows he does. And so he thought, maybe if I extend an olive branch, we might get some headway. We might actually get to a working relationship. You know, we're not going to be friends, but if we spend some time together, you might come to respect me a little. I might come to respect you a little.
Right.
And Mike Zimmer took his little olive branch and lit it on fire. Was not interested.
Oh, what's that, Kirk? Lieber says he ends the interview by saying, you start putting the pieces together after a couple of years and a couple of seasons, and it just didn't seem like Zimmer liked the guy at all. Jeez. No wonder he couldn't call the right play. He was scared to death.
The introductory press conference, when Kirk Cousins first gets to Minnesota, Zimmer didn't like him. I mean,
I could see it now, you know. It's our new quarterback. Whatever.
Which is crazy because I think Kirk is a much better quarterback than Case Keenum. And it seemed like Zimmer liked Case Keenum way more than he liked Kirk.
Okay. Jagdog wants to know, does Madden have a rating for Josh Rosen? Yeah, it's 4. Big George says, nice. Trubisky with the 69. I wonder where Jacoby Brissett is on the list. Joe the Show, I'm so surprised with Russell's number. I'm just curious as to what Joe Burrito is ranked at. Joe Burrow. Sorry, not Joe Burrito.
Joe Burrito.
I just come up with a new texter name.
There we go. Joe Burrito. Someone's got to have that one. Josh Rosen's not even rated. They didn't even bother to give him rating.
-4. They hiked the ball to him. And it's an interception.
Joe Burrow is a 90.
I mean, look.
He's damn good.
He is.
What else did you want to hear?
Hefty Lefty. Kirk got an answer to his question all those years ago in Washington. Zimmer did, in fact, not like that. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, some questions facing AFC West teams and what could be the answers. We'll talk about it. Also, Kirby Smart gets a deal for the ages as the head ball coach of Georgia. Are college coaches getting paid a little too much? We'll talk about it here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The latest NFL odds, which teams have the best chance to go winless in 2022? The Falcons and Texans have the lowest predicted win totals entering the season, each at 4.5. The Seahawks at 5.5. The Bears, Jaguars, and Jets with the over-under set at 6 wins. UFC 278 set for August 20th in Salt Lake City. The welterweight title on the line. Kamaru Usman, the -315 favorite in his 6th title defense. Number 2 contender Leon Edwards at +265. The two fought back in 2015 with Usman emerging victorious. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Hi, this is Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz. Well, in Major League Baseball's World Series, only one World Series has ever ended with a runner being thrown out. That runner is a huge name. Name him. The answer coming up on the Daily Sports Quiz.
Nick LaCapria's Daily Sports Quiz brings you 8 different questions from the world of sports each day. If you want even more questions from the world of sports, visit Nick LaCapria's new website, sportstrivia.org. You can test your sports trivia knowledge and get answers to some great questions from the world of sports trivia. Sportstrivia.org. It's free, it's fun, and it's challenging. If you like the Daily Sports Quiz, you'll love sportstrivia.org.
The answer to today's Daily Sports Quiz: name the only player to ever get thrown out stealing a base to end the World Series. The legendary Babe Ruth, who in 1926, with his team down 1 run, attempted to steal second base and was thrown out. I'm Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Are your kids enrolled in school? Their future depends on what they're learning right now. Find an Arizona school near you at azed.gov. Make sure your kids get the academic support they need. Plus, give them community care whenever it's crucial, with meal programs, counseling, and more. Find an Arizona school near you at azed.gov or call 602-542-7378. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Education.
Admit it, you love the action. You love the excitement.
Caught for a touchdown.
You love the big plays.
Sideline, the 30, the 20, 15, 10, 5, rock and roll, touchdown.
And you love the big hits.
So do we.
The NFL. We've got the games you want and the info you need. Listen for the latest 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for the NFL.
It's Daily Blender for a Monday, rolling towards 6 o'clock tonight. At that time, our good friends from, is it Beeson? Beeson follows us, right?
Yep.
The Edge? Yeah. Anyway, that's coming up at 6 o'clock. My name is Randy White. That's the sexiest man in sports talk radio, Keon Rose. Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation this week. He'll be back on Thursday. We're currently talking some NFL, got some LIV, some live tour, or for those of you that want to be correct, 54. But there's some questions facing some NFC West teams. And I thought this was interesting because I really think that the NFC West is the division this year. Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders. After the season the Chargers had last year, you know, the only thing I can see is that the Chargers somehow falter a little bit. But I don't see how.
I think that the Chargers might have the most talented team in the bunch. Just with what they've done the last couple of seasons in the offseason, making sure that they went out and on both sides of the ball, making sure that they go out and get that support. I think, you know, getting Khalil Mack, for instance.
The Chargers re-signed Mike Williams. They took advantage of Herbert playing on his rookie contract, signed J.C. Jackson. They acquired Khalil Mack to bolster that Charger defense. Could the Chargers, let's start with the Chargers. Could the Chargers be a Super Bowl contender?
Yes. I think every single team in that division is.
No kidding.
If you can get out of that division, I don't know how you could not be one of the favorites. I mean, because they're all loaded. The Raiders went out, and instead of waiting through the storm, because some teams do that, you see another team on an upswing. I'm not going to spend my money this offseason. I'm going to wait till they get a little bit older, and then I'm going to spend. The Raiders could have hunkered down. The Raiders went, no, we're getting Devontae Adams.
Yeah. So let's start at the top and work our way through the division with some questions that I want to ask you, and I want to get your take on these. And I'll tell you if I agree. We'll start with the Chiefs. Who's going to be the number one wide receiver now that Tyreek Hill is gone? Could it be Smith-Schuster, Valdez-Scantling, Mecole Hardman? Do you think one of those guys steps to the front? And if so, which one do you think it is?
I'm leaning Juju Smith-Schuster. We saw what he could do when he had a healthy Ben Roethlisberger, but he is a few years from having played with that guy or really any quality quarterback in Pittsburgh, because when Ben wasn't healthy, it was Mason Rudolph. Pick a guy. I mean, there weren't good quarterbacks throwing him the football, and he was still being able to put up good numbers. You join Patrick Mahomes, he's still quick. He's still got great hands. Patrick Mahomes and Juju Smith-Schuster should form a connection. And while I like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and I think that he is actually underrated when it comes to speed, I think that a lot of teams are really aware of what Patrick Mahomes wants to do, which is to go over the top with the football. So a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster, who's going to work a lot more in the slot, I really like that.
So how does the issue of Orlando Brown going to affect the Chiefs? They need to fix this. He apparently, as of today, has not shown up at the facility and has not signed his $16.6 million franchise tag. And it doesn't look like he's going to.
No, and people wondered what was going on with the Ravens when they traded Orlando Brown to the Chiefs. Like, how could you get rid of a perfectly quality lineman, a guy who's one of the best in the league when he's healthy? Well, this is why. He just wasn't happy with the deal that he had with the Ravens. I thought he would be happier with the Chiefs because one of the things that makes it frustrating to play for the Ravens is that you're asking guys to run block a lot. They don't really care if you're right tackle or left tackle. He wanted to be a left tackle. He wanted to be the anchor of an offensive line. Well, there, you got it. You went out there and he played well, but now he really wants the monster deal for what he's done. And the Chiefs are like, look, we've committed a ton of resources to Patrick Mahomes. We can pay you, but we can't pay you a monster left tackle deal because the quarterback's taking the money. So you guess you're going to have to hold out then. And we'll see, and they're going to call his bluff, but it puts them in a really bad spot because now they're going to move from an A+ left tackle to maybe someone else who's B, maybe even C.
All right, so let's talk the Los Angeles Chargers. Who's going to be the number 2 running back? Austin Eckler obviously is number 1, but who's going to join that? Is that going to be Isaiah Spiller, or could Joshua Kelly jump up there?
I think it's going to be Spiller, but I've been high on Spiller, since before the draft process. I just thought Spiller was a really good player and quite frankly, very underrated. I think that he's going to have a lot of opportunities too, because Eckler is a really, really damn good running back, but he does have those moments where he misses a game or two, or he misses a quarter or two because he gets dinged up. And so the opportunities are going to be there for Spiller to really cement himself in that number 2 spot.
What about stopping the run? We knew that was kind of an issue with the Chargers last year. You could run on them, which would set up the pass, and that's how you would hurt them. Ultimately, is the run defense going to be better in 2022?
Yeah, you have to think so. Brandon Staley came from the Rams. He was their defensive coordinator. And the reason why they hired him was because he could do all of these exotic things with that defense. Well, it turns out if you don't have Aaron Donald, it kind of limits the exotic stuff you can do. If you don't have that one monster in the middle that just gums everything up. So now you're taking a defensive line that was pretty productive last year. You're going to have a healthier Bosa. So that's really good. They're going to be a whole lot better defensively up front. And if they can be better up front without having to bring extra pressure from the linebacker spots or from, anywhere else in the secondary, now you can start to see all of the crazy stuff that Brandon Staley wants to do with that defense.
Okay, let's talk Raiders. Darren Waller got a contract situation. He's enormously underpaid. Do the Raiders fix that here early in the training camp, or is that something that could be a distraction?
I don't know if it's going to be a distraction. I mean, they may even wait until the end of the season. They've got a really good relationship with Darren Waller. He likes his relationship with that team. You know, I think pretty sure everyone's heard the Darren Waller story by now of how, you know, he was hooked on drugs early in his career and nearly lost his career and quite frankly his life. And he was able to turn that around, and he's been clean. And I think he does like that the Raiders have supported him in his journey of sobriety, and they respect the hell out of him. I think that there's no bad blood there. He's not a guy that's going to make a scene about these kinds of things. I don't know how long it's going to take or what the timetable is, but just because of who Darren Waller is as a guy, I don't think this is going to be a problem.
So is their secondary good enough to move them up? They finished 26th in points allowed and had the third fewest takeaways in the league. Also interceptions. That wasn't a big factor for other teams. They were unafraid to go deep on the Raiders. Are they going to shore that up, and are they going to be better this year?
I hope so, because in that division, you're going to need it. If your weakness is teams can throw on you, Patrick Mahomes is in your division. Russell Wilson is in your division. Justin Herbert is in your division. All that's in your division is dudes that can throw on you. Look, they went out and spent the money. You can't say if whether they're successful or not successful, you can't say that they didn't spend the cash when they went out, you know, and they went out and got Rock Ya-Sin, who all name team name. B, I really just like the way that the guy plays. He's very downhill. Hopefully he can kind of convert himself into somebody who is able to stay a little bit more disciplined covering receivers, because I think he wants to get the big hits so much that he kind of bites on fakes and things like that. But as far as the athlete and a coachable guy, I think they went out and got a few people who can help them in their secondary. We'll see though, because this division with these quarterbacks and quite frankly these receivers, it's going to be tough.
All right, the Denver Broncos, of course, the big addition in the offseason, Russell Wilson. Just by adding Russell Wilson and with the offense and defense already in play, does that addition of Russell Wilson make the Broncos a Super Bowl contender?
Yes, has to, because we've seen what Russ can do, and this is going to be one of the best offensive lines he's been behind. Seattle kind of neglected fixing up the offensive line, or at least making it elite. It was never bad, but they never had an elite offensive line. I think that they tried really hard to get their running game going up in Seattle, and they whiffed on a few picks, you know, and then of course the guys that they did hit on had injury stuff, couldn't stay healthy. That's not their fault, but it did affect them. This is a great running game that the Broncos have. This is a great offensive line that the Broncos have. And by the way, with the wide receiver room, the cupboard's full. You got Jerry Jeudy, you got you got Cortland Sutton, you know, you got KJ Hamler, who might be one of the fastest guys in the league that we don't talk about. I think that, yeah, he shows up and makes them a contender. And oh, by the way, their defense suffocates people. Like if they had a quarterback who was any good at all last year, they would have been a contender last year. So I do think that Russell Wilson, you add him, you make them a contender right off the bat.
Let's not forget the defensive side of the football. They did steal Randy Gregory away from the Cowboys. So does that help them to become that suffocating defense? Is that the edge that pushes them over the top and will be able to win that division, ultimately win that conference?
It doesn't hurt. I mean, when you look at Bradley Chubb is, I think, one of the most underrated edge rushers in the game of football. I don't hear his name come up in the same conversation with people like Myles Garrett. But when I look at him get pressure on quarterbacks, he is as productive. So I don't know why we don't bring him up nearly as often. And what you're saying is you're adding Randy Gregory to that. And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with Randy Gregory. I think the Cowboys screwed up when they didn't re-sign him. They let him go. That's a problem for them, but it's a great win for the Broncos. And you add that to a secondary that they have built where it's hard to throw on them already. I really think that the Broncos are dangerous.
All right. So out of the four we just talked about, I know this is really preseason here, and you just don't know what's going to happen. What do you see the division coming down to, and who do you see ultimately winning this division?
I think that the division's just going to come down to who's got the most prolific offense. I think that no matter how good these defenses are, they're going to have trouble keeping each other out of the end zone. Who has the most prolific offense? I'm leaning the Chargers right now. I really am.
Really? Okay.
I just think that with what Herbert showed last year, with the weapons that they put around him, that they've got guys that they can throw to on every level of the field, that they can run the football, that they've gotten better defensively as well with Khalil Mack as an addition to that team. I just think that you got to think that maybe the Chargers have the edge here, but boy, the Broncos are tough.
All right, 888-368 is the 888-368-1580 is the text line number. Feel free to jump on and give us your thoughts about the AFC West. If that's maybe one of your teams, we'd love to talk about it with you. When we come back, we're going to talk a little about college football. Couple of things I want to get. I want to hear your thoughts on, Keon. The transfer portal has now changed the way things operate. And is this good or bad for college football? And B, are college coaches getting paid way too much? We have that, and on this date in Big Georgia sports history, it's around the corner here on this edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward and master 5th grade math.
I can't do this. It's impossible.
Not you, Dad, your daughter. Staples will help her move forward.
Right.
Right now, Staples comp books and number 2 pencils are just 50 cents each. Plus, 2 pocket paper folders are only 25 cents each. Everything on your list at amazing prices. Staples, we're not going back. We're going forward to school. Ends 8/27 in store only, limit 30.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And if you haven't heard, the show is now noon to 2 p.m., Monday through Friday. NFL training camps are underway. We'll get you the latest from the Cardinals and around the league. Major League Baseball trade deadline is coming quickly. What do the Diamondbacks do? And we'll keep an eye on their games. So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. here on 99.3 and 1580 The Fanatic.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
Can you tell which pills contain the deadly dose of fentanyl? Neither can your child. Counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl are killing Arizona's youth at an alarming rate. They're cheap, easy to get, and just one pill can kill. Get the facts on fentanyl at talknowaz.com. Talk with your children. Monitor their texts and social media. Visit talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Welcome back to this Monday edition of the Daily Blender as we wind towards 6 o'clock tonight. And Visa and the Edge coming up at 6 o'clock. My name is Randy White. That's Keon Rose over there. Jeffrey O'Brien on vacation. Be back Thursday. We've been talking. We've talked a lot today. We talked about Kevin Durant, the Celtics pursuing Kevin Durant. How does that affect the Phoenix Suns' pursuit of Kevin Durant? Do we want? See, that's something I didn't get to ask. Kevin's 33, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's had the Achilles thing. Okay, yeah, he is. He's one of, if not the most prolific shooters in basketball today. He brings championship culture with him. He's been there, done that, and he's motivated to come to Phoenix. Do the Suns really want KD to come here, and at what cost?
I would have to think ultimately no, just because of what you would have to give up to get Kevin Durant, because you're gutting your team, and the guy's 33 years old and will be 34 before the beginning of the season.
Right.
Do you have enough time to rebuild around him to make a run for a championship? And that's a risky gamble. That by the time you have a team worth going to a championship with, Kevin Durant might be 36 or 37 years old. And I don't know that you can win a championship with a 37-year-old Kevin Durant as your best player, which is what you would be saying if you gave up the franchise for him.
So there's Keon's thoughts, and I agree 110%. I agree with him. Getting Kevin Durant here could be costly. As a matter of fact, Prison Wallet says getting Kevin Durant just says you want to be like Los Angeles, and that's not working out for the Lakers. Good Cat says, as a Celtics and a Suns fan, I don't want Durant on either team. I would not give up Jaylen Brown for him. I don't know if you heard me. My voice cracked.
I don't know exactly what everything that they want from the Celtics, but if I could give up Jaylen Brown and not a whole lot else, I'd make the move. I'd make the move. If I could put him and Tatum on the same team, I would do it.
Yeah, Tatum's off guard. He's a no-fly zone. But Brooklyn wants Jaylen Brown. They also want well, the Celtics offered Derek White, a draft pick for the Nets, and a draft pick, and Jaylen Brown. But the Nets wanted something different. They wanted the Jaylen Brown, and they also wanted Marcus Smart and draft picks, and one more rotational player.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like if you have to give up Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, there's no point in doing that. That like you already know you can go to the finals with what you have. I don't know if you can get back there a second time with what you've got, but you know you can get there with what you've got. If you gut your team for Durant, you're not a finals team anymore.
Also, we talked a bit about Kyler Murray. Got some information about his contract that the Cardinals put in there for this $230.5 million contract, saying that Kyler needs to study, independent study, up to 4 hours a week on an iPad and or other electronic device supplied by the team. He needs to put in some time studying on game weeks, on teams that they're going to be playing.
I really don't understand.
I would imagine a guy at the top level of football would already do that,
and especially when it comes to quarterbacks, because other positions, everybody needs to know the playbook, but other positions are certainly heavier on technique. If you're a corner, if you understand leverage, if you understand what the guy across from you wants to do, you're good. The quarterback needs to understand what the whole defense needs to do. How can you not study tape?
We were talking about the Madden ratings, and we were kind of joking around, but people are, people get really fired up about this Madden thing. But I was saying that Tom Brady's getting a 97. He's rated 97. And my comment was because he knows the game. He spent a lot of time in the game. He's been a student of the game. And I think that's what the Cardinals want Kyler Murray to do.
Look, Tom is a student of the game to the degree that Tom will watch film on his team, then he'll watch film on other teams. I'm not even talking about defenses. He's literally looking at other quarterbacks and going, what can I steal? Yeah. He's talked about it at length about the things that he stole from watching Peyton, things that he stole from watching Drew Brees, things that he's stolen from watching Aaron Rodgers and the way that those guys operate. And he's constantly adding to his library of solutions to every problem that a defense can throw at him.
Mm.
How can you not, when you are trying to get a $230 million contract,
right?
How can you not have that? Why does your team have to put that in your contract?
Yeah, that's my question. Why is that something in the contract?
Yeah, like
because there seems to have been a history there.
I don't get it.
Mr. Pringle on the text line at 888-368-1580 says, did the Cards give Kyler a booster seat so he can see when he sits at the desk to study? I'm not aware of that. Hefty Lefty says, sounds like Kyler needs to use the $9.99 month of that $230 million on the NFL Plus package so he can get all 22 camera.
But that's the thing. It's all 22 film is just given to NFL teams. He doesn't have to pay for it.
He doesn't have to pay for that. That's the kind of the bonus for being an NFL player.
I'm a little scared because I've been getting the NFL Game Pass for a while now. Like that, it's something that I've liked, and I like the all 22 film, and I watch a lot. Have I been watching more film than Kyler Murray?
That's the question we need to find out, Keon.
Because I'm scared. If they're saying 4 hours, I'm like, man, I watch way more than 4 hours on a week.
Dude, if I'm an NFL quarterback, I want to know what my opposition's going to do. I don't think I have enough. I don't have the cojones to go out there and think I can beat these guys without knowing what the hell they're doing. Cardinal Art says, KD coming to the Suns is like Sun not going. Oh, hang on just a second here. Have to decline that. Sun calling from Texas. Cardinal Art says, KD coming to the Suns is like the sun not coming up in the morning. Not going to happen. May I have another frothy blue brew, please, Randy?
Absolutely. Well, it's most likely not going to happen, but I think James Jones is a fantastic GM, and therefore I think he won't do it. However, if January 15th rolls around and the Nets still have Kevin Durant, because they're not in a rush to get rid of him, and things with DeAndre Ayton are not working out, that whole thing comes back to life. The whole thing.
All right. Before we miss out here, we've only got just a few minutes before the time starts ticking away. It's time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1990, Roseanne Barr, the star of the hit television show, whose executive producer was the new San Diego Padres owner, Tom Werner, sung in an irreverent and widely criticized rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. The comedian, known for her biting sarcasm, spit and grabbed her crotch as if adjusting a protective cup after singing the national anthem in a loud and off-tune, screechy manner. A performance that was called disgraceful by then U.S. President George H.W. Bush. I remember that. You remember that?
I don't.
1990. Were you born yet?
That was literally the year I was born. Yeah.
Well, you don't remember that.
Yeah, no.
Oh, it was terrible. You'll have to YouTube it. Don't YouTube it.
I almost don't want to.
Don't do it. No. Yeah, don't YouTube it.
I think that's something that better left in my imagination.
Good Cat on the text line says, Keon, you watch more film because you actually care about your job. I think Kyler cares about his job. I think, and I said this early on in the show, I'll say it again. Kyler's 24 years old. He's a kid. And I think he's gotten away with the talent that he possesses. But you can't not study. You can't, be at this elite level of football and not study and learn this game to be successful at it. It's only going to make you better.
But look at the guys that are at the top of this game right now. These are people who have been overlooked to a degree. That are they immensely talented? Yeah, but I mean, there was so much doubt surrounding Patrick Mahomes when he got drafted. That I think that pushes you to work harder and not rely just on your talent. Tom Brady, 6th round draft pick, Russell Wilson, 4th round draft pick or 3rd. I don't recall exactly. The pressure of being a Manning, what that means. Like if you have pressure on you, then you're going to push yourself. And I think that Kyler never had that pressure because he was just always the most talented guy on the field for his entire life.
Yeah. Boy, we're getting him here. King of Kittens says, I can see Roseanne like it was yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that, King of Kittens.
Oh, no.
That's not easy on the eyeballs.
Boomer Sooner says, Randy, can I get a beer and a little Boomer Sooner? Well, I'll give you the beer. Prison Wallet says it's in the contract because it's in the contract because Murray is lazy. He feels like everything should just be handed to him. And that's why he's a pouty boo-boo face on the sideline every Sunday. Strong words.
Like I said, I'm not going to say the guy's lazy, but he likes to have fun more than he likes to work. And I think that's the problem.
Time to buckle down.
Yeah.
All right, 888-368-1580. We've done on this date in Big George's sports history. Let's see here. How about we got time to spin the wheel? I've got one I want to get to.
We've got a couple of minutes.
All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. Here we go. Why Tom Brady should be encouraged that J-Lo just got married again. You know, what's her name? J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. She just got married to bad man. What was his name? It was like her original boyfriend or something.
Was it Ben Affleck?
Yeah, that's it. Ben Affleck.
Right.
Anyway, so just some stats you guys should know about why Tom Brady should be interested in whenever J-Lo gets married. When Lopez married Ojani Noah in 1997, Brady's Michigan Wolverines took home the college football national title. A few years later, in 2001, during Brady's first year as an NFL starter, Lopez remarried, this time to Chris Judd. Brady and the Patriots went on to take home their first Super Bowl. When Lopez and Mark Anthony got married, took their vows in 2004, Brady's Patriots finished the only Super Bowl repeat in the last approximate quarter century. So this year, she's tying the knot with Ben Affleck. Could this mean Tom Brady might get another Super Bowl ring?
Have they been connected this entire time?
See the connection here?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I don't think so. And the reason why is because all of these streaks eventually end at some point. I remember there was a run of time in which Alabama and the Patriots were winning Super Bowls in alternating years. So like the Patriots would win one, then Alabama would win one. Then the Patriots would win one, then the Crimson Tide would win another one. There was a good run there where it was like 3 or 4 championships where they were just in lockstep with each other. I think these things kind of wear out, but boy, that's an incredible
Every year that J-Lo has gotten married, Tom Brady's won a championship. And the Bucs this year are plus 700 to win Super Bowl LVII. Don't do Roman numerals, period. Speaking of Roman numerals, I wanted to get to the Live Tour. We'll have to talk about it tomorrow, but there's some funny stuff going on the Live Tour. And one of them is Sergio is doing a U-turn on one of his rants, this time about the DP World Tour. So we'll see about that. Blissful Hayes on the text line. Thank you, Randy and Keon, for showing up for work. The last 2 shows have been great. Well, thank you very much, Blissful Hayes. We appreciate you, and thanks for showing up as well. Hefty Lefty, forget Benifer. The real power couple is Tomifer. Who? Tomifer. Tomifer?
I guess if we're doing we're combining the names, it's Tom and J-Lo together. They're the power couple, even though they're not.
I don't think Tom would. I don't think he would do anything with J-Lo.
They're married to different people, but
yeah, I don't think think that's an option.
Her rings seem to give him rings, so that's something.
So you're saying that they're linked inexplicably because of the marriage? It should be Tomifer.
I'm guessing that's what they're saying.
Big George says, thanks for reading on this date. You're welcome, Big George. He also says Tom Brady and Ben Affleck will forever be intertwined. If Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl this year, another Super Bowl this year with the Bucs. So you think it's Ben Affleck? You don't think it's J-Lo? I disagree with you. I think it's J-Lo. I think there's something there.
I agree because Tom and Affleck is Affleck's Boston guy.
Yeah,
they were connected by that before, but now that Tom's won outside of Boston, that's clearly not a thing, right?
All right. Yeah. I agree. One more here. Got some weird but true facts. Okay, these are all true facts. In 2012, a stray cat randomly entered a home in Wales where a blind dog was living and, after seeing the dog's disability, became its personal guide. The cat learned to direct and nudge the dog away from obstacles and would protect it while out on walks. Weird but true. In Germany, it has sleeping pods located in and around the city's parks for homeless people. When one's activated, a social worker will go and wake them in the morning to make sure they're okay. Weird but true. In 2007, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, deliberately wore the same outfit for 6 months just to piss off the paparazzi. Weird but true. This has been the Daily Blender. Thanks, Keon, for being here. Thank you, Fourth Dimension, for being here. Cardinal Art, Hefty Lefty, I see you. We'll be back tomorrow over most of these same radio stations, same bad time, same bad channel. Bye.
Sire, I just graduated